Hi everyone, Stacy here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. So today let's talk high level about the energies that will be available to us in 2026. Now in this video, I'm going to focus on the slower moving planets, or I call the big heavy hitters of the sky. So that's the two social planets, that's Jupiter and Saturn, and the three outer planets. So that's Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And of course, I will continue to cover off the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, the new moons, the full moons in my month ahead videos as well. And of course, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about the outer planets, you can check out all the links in the description box below, where I dive into way more detail than what I'm going to cover off for today. Now, I just want to kind of sum up in one quick sentence 2026, the year 2026. So if you've been following me for a while, I feel like I've said this over and over, rinse and repeat, I know, but 2026, I feel energetically, is going to be another year of walking between the worlds, I call it. And that is thanks to these larger outer planets that have been shifting back and forth into new territory. And again, these don't happen very often. Pluto takes 20 years, approximately 15 to 20 years to transit each and every sign. Neptune takes approximately 12 to 14 to 15 years to transit each and every sign. Uranus is 7 years. Saturn is approximately 2.5 to 3 years, and then Jupiter takes 1 year to move through each and every sign. So energetically, I'm feeling that same sort of momentum of back and forth. But what is different about 2026 is the larger outer planets, so Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus, are going to finally settle into new territory. So I do feel like the cosmic dust is trying to settle, and it's not settled right now as I'm recording this video in November of 2025. The dust is still well up in the air. And again, we're still walking between the worlds, between two different modalities and signs for each and every one of these planets. And another thing I'm sort of sensing and feeling for the year ahead is, as I'm sure most of you know, 2026 adds up to a number one universal year. So keep in mind, as the cosmic dust is trying to settle in 2026, I am fairly confident by the end of 2026, it'll be the closest it can be to the ground as possible, if that makes sense. And 2027 will be a different conversation, but I'll get to that obviously in 9 months from now, I would say. But anyway, things are like new beginnings will likely take hold of 2026. So 2025 is a year of wrapping things up, which, yes, can be difficult. I feel like most of the individuals that I have encountered throughout 2025, it's been rough. It's been rough in at least one or two or multiple areas of life. So just know that 2026, I do feel like the light at the tunnel is getting larger and larger. Now, I'm not saying by January 1st, all of your problems are going to go away and everything's going to be fine. Just think of a new beginning. Think of starting a new job, or starting a new relationship, or moving countries, or relocating somewhere strange and unknown. It's a little bit uncomfortable, right? It's exciting. You get the butterflies in the stomach, but it still pushes you outside of your comfort zone. So I still feel 2026 will be one of those years where fresh new starts are trying to take hold. Again, are they going to happen in January or February or March? Maybe. It depends. This is where it comes down to your personal birth chart. But I do feel that by the end of 2026, at least something brand new will take hold in your life and grow roots. And I know that sounds like a long time, you guys, but think about how slow these planets are. They do not work overnight like the Sun and Mars and Venus do, or Mercury for that matter. These are very slow moving structured planets that are life altering, life changing. You know, Mercury and Mars and Venus and the Sun and the lunations, they can't do that. Eclipses can do that, so that's a different conversation. But these big heavy hitters are life shattering, life changing to the full extent, if that makes sense. Also, I want to throw out there, every 9 years, we have a number one year or a number one universal year. So the last time we had a 1 year was back in 2017. Before that was 2008. And before that was 1999. And if you want to keep going backwards, just, keep subtracting 9 years. Now, I'm not saying what's going to happen or what happened in 2008 or 2017 is going to repeat itself. But again, think back to those times. What new fresh beginnings did you start? And what big endings happened in those years? Because again, 2026 is going to be about wrapping up the 2025 ending so we can finally step into something big that is for our best intentions, higher intentions, purpose, whatever your belief systems are. Okay, I guess that was longer than a sentence. So forgive me. But anyway, before I dive into all 12 signs, I do want to take a really quick opportunity to thank each and every one of you for liking my content, sharing out my content, and subscribing to my channel. There we go. I truly appreciate the love and the support, and I'm sending that back to you tenfold, my friends. So thank you so much for that. And always keep in mind, these are general readings. I can't stress that enough in each and every one of my videos. I do use a whole sign house system. I'm also using Western tropical astrology. So again, this may not resonate with each and every one of you because everyone's natal charts, house systems, whatever your preferences are, they're a little bit different. So as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. If you know your rising sign, I would say your rising sign would be the closest to an astrology reading. But again, some folks live through their sun sign. So you're definitely going to pick up nuggets of information if you watch your sun sign and your rising sign. And then of course you can watch for any other planet. So if you like watching for your Venus sign or your Mars sign or your moon sign, you're more than welcome to do so, to pull all that information together for you, as long as it doesn't confuse you though. If it confuses you, I would say just stick to your sun sign or your rising sign or both. Like sun and rising, I think would be the closest for you. And of course, if you'd like a personal reading, if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, I'd be more than happy to do so. You can get in touch with me on my website, and I'll be sure to put the link to that in the description box below. All right, let's dive into all 12 signs. Hey Aries, let's talk about the 4 areas of life that are going to be highlighted for you for the year ahead. And that's thanks to these larger, slower moving planets. Also, the eclipses are going to be impacting some of these houses as well, but stay tuned. I'm going to release a separate video about that, probably closer to the middle of 2026, covering off the brand new eclipse cycle. But first, Aries, lots of action happening in your first house. So let's start there. So the first house is a house of life, of fresh new beginnings. But the first house is also about our physical appearance. It can be the physical body, the identity of the body, our identity in general, or what or who we identify with. So what is your identity wrapped up into? So it depends on what you're watching for. If it's your sun sign, it would be your career. If it's your rising sign, it really could be any aspect of your life. As I always say, anything to do with the rising sign, it's how we walk into the world, it's how we enter the world, it's the glasses, the lenses we wear, it's the projections we put out there into the world, and also on other individuals as well. It's deeply ingrained into our mind, body, and soul of the rising sign. If you're watching for your moon sign, this could have something to do with big, new, fresh starts and beginnings when it comes to your place of living or your whatever family means to you, your extended family members, your children, your grandparents, your roots, your ancestry, whatever that sort of means to you, Aries. So this is where Saturn and Neptune are going to be staying for quite some time. So Saturn's going to be here for approximately 2.5 years. Neptune is here for a nice long stay of 14 years, my friend. So Anyway, keep in mind the first house is also about your health and well-being of the body, how you're taking care of the vessel that you have been brought in with, so to speak. First house is anything to do with big major life cycles and themes, because again, it touches technically all areas of life, your relationships, your career, and your home life, and again, your physical body, your physical identity, or who or what you are wrapped up with. Like, what is your, as I mentioned, what is your identity wrapped up in? It's also how you approach life. So it's similar to projections, but again, it's the glasses that we wear. Now, Aries, I think you're also going to be wearing the rose-colored glasses over the next several years, especially depending on what exactly you are watching for. So keep in mind, this is really going to come down to your personal birth chart. What do you have in Aries? What do you have in Sagittarius? What do you have in Leo, if anything? What do you have in the air signs? What do you have in the cardinal signs? So this is where the birth chart expands on what I am just generically talking about each and every house and what they represent. So long story short, Aries, you're going to be going through a lot of big transformations this year, but it's just scratching the surface this year. So as I mentioned earlier at the start of the video, don't expect something to change on January the 5th or February the 5th for that matter. I mean, some of you perhaps, again, if those early degree Aries points, if these planets are sitting there hovering like Neptune, Neptune dissolves, disintegrates anything he touches. He's also a higher octave of Venus. So romance, dating, self-expression, creativity. In my Neptune video, I explained that I was shown like a square box. And let me tell you, Aries, you're going to be a round circle. I'm not calling you fat, but like your sharp edges are going to be shaved off by the time Neptune is done with you. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not tainting this as a negative brush. I've experienced Neptune and the first house, and honestly, it was an incredible experience, to be honest. And each and every one of us are going to experience this a little bit differently. And then Saturn's going to come along. Saturn is the great builder. Nobody can build like Saturn can build, my friends. So Saturn will continue to build on multiple areas of life for you, because again, this is your first house. Now let's hop down into your social third house. This is where Uranus is going to be for the next 7 years. So third house, very busy house, very intellectual house. So this is about the mind, communication, transportation, siblings, cousins, neighbors, relatives, extended family members, your community, your local vicinity, social media, the internet, short distance, tripping around and traveling, my friends. So what is Uranus, or who is Uranus? Uranus is all about breaking free of something or someone in this area of life for you, Aries. This is where you're going to want that ultimate freedom and perhaps a little bit of rebellion on what your next steps could be. Man, Aries, for you, definitely embrace technology, like new technology and AI, and where you can take that in the next 7 years. Again, pouring in opportunities to your planet's placements points, whatever you're watching for in Aries, again, for 7 years, my friends. This is absolutely monumental. So if you know your chart, great. If you don't, don't worry about it. I'm hoping some of these nuggets of information will resonate with you. So Uranus is going to shake up and wake up. Think of a snow globe in your third house for 7 years, my friends, 7 years. Now, Jupiter, this is another life house for you, similar to the first house. Jupiter in your 5th house, which is not going to happen until middle of 2026. This is all about children and grandchildren, love affairs, romance, dating, sexuality, creativity, how you express yourself, a little bit of drama, a little bit of flair. It is Leo after all, and it is the 5th house after all. Joy lies in here, fertility lies in here, pregnancy, gambling, and hobbies, Aries. Anything that lifts you up and lights you up starts in the 5th house. It's that area of life when we're in school and the teacher says, hey, what do you want to do the rest of your life, Aries? And you're like, I want to be an astronaut, and I want to be an entrepreneur, and I want to, you fill in the blank. That's where our hopes and wishes and desires start from the belly. They start inside of us and then they bubble up. That's why it's the house of quite literally pregnancy. So hint, hint, wink, wink, Aries, this is a pregnancy signature, but I can appreciate not all of you want to get pregnant, can get pregnant, or depending on your circumstances. But if you are looking to start a family, my friends, especially with Jupiter coming out of your 4th house into the 5th house, that's an expansion. Wherever Jupiter goes, he wants to provide expansion and growth and opportunity and luck and abundance to anything and everything he touches. And again, Aries, lucky you, you have Jupiter trining your energies for a year. And this is going to start middle of 2026 and it's going to last all the way until middle of 2027. So anything you want to bring to the surface, I would say, yes, please heed your intuition, my friends, because again, this year ahead is really highlighting your life houses and your social houses. Last but not least, Pluto. Pluto in your 11th house. This is a 20-year transit, my friends. So again, Pluto moves very, very slowly. If you're an early degree Aries, so I would say if you have anything from 0 to 5 degrees of Aries, Pluto has already been working on you for the last couple of years. But what is the 11th house? So the 11th house is, again, a sibling house. So definitely focus could be on siblings, not only the year ahead, but several years ahead. So older siblings, friends, groups, who you consider to be in your community. It's the people that you surround yourself with. It's memberships, it's organizations that you belong to. This could be personal or professional, Aries. This is also your role that you play in these groups, affiliations, associations, unions also fall in the 11th house as well. This is also about your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, Aries, your long-term commitments and goals. This is also a social media house. It has a bit of a social media technology flair to it. The 11th house is the future. The 11th house is what lifts you up, what lights you up, what supports you, my friends. It's also anything to do with group efforts, like I'm thinking humanitarian efforts or protests or anything like that, like going up against big banks or big associations or government, or like doing things as a movement, as a group, Aries. So I think a lot of you, again, this is Pluto we're dealing with. Pluto has the power to destroy, yet he has the power to rebuild and heal and transform this area of life. Pluto is also about big life shakeups and wake-ups in this respective area of life. One simple example, Aries, is you're going to definitely find out really fast with this transit who your friends are and who are not your friends, who your people are and who are not, who has your back and who does not. You're also, Aries, going to attract in a lot of karmic relationships, karmic groups, karmic associations. Like this is also networking. So you're really going to have very faded moments with Pluto in this 11th area of life for you. But again, this is a 20-year transit, you guys. So technically this video I'm making, it does stand the test of time because of these heavy hitters hanging out in your 11th, your 1st, and your 3rd house, respectively, for a long, long time. All right, Aries, again, double, triple check your birth chart if you do know your chart. And again, the dates are on the right-hand side here, my friends. Enjoy the year ahead, and I'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Taurus, let's cover off the 4 areas of life that are going to really be activated and highlighted for you in 2026. Keep in mind I have all the dates listed on the right-hand side of the screen here because, again, the planets are walking between the worlds, except Pluto. Pluto has been in Aquarius in your 10th house since 2024. And of course, stay tuned. I'm going to make a separate video about the nodes of the moon moving into Aquarius and Leo. That probably won't be released until closer to May of 2026. But anyway, they are also falling in the 2 areas of life that I'm going to cover off here. Okay, let's start with your second house of wealth. This is a wealth house for you, Taurus, and you have a similar vibration to the second house here. So yes, a lot of you Taurians I know are jumping for joy because Uranus is finally moving out of your sign permanently in 2026, and he's going to be in your second house for 7 years, my friends. So what exactly is the second house? It is money. It is work, whatever you do from a 9 to 5 perspective, finances, your income, your value system. So think of Uranus, the snow globe. He's going to be shaking up your money, your finances, your work, whatever your 9 to 5 is, even your values. What you value will more than likely change slowly but surely over the next 7 years. However it is that you earn a living, however it is that money comes to you. So even if you're not working, Taurus, how do you earn a living? How do you pay your taxes? How do you pay your gas? How do you pay your electricity bills? How do you pay for groceries? How does money come to you? That will probably get a bit of a shake up and a wake up. Again, not January 1st, not February 1st. This is a 7-year transit, my friends, and we just had a little taste tester in 2025. Second house is also about material possessions and anything that belongs to you, my friends. So again, this is a long transit, but obviously technology is going to be the forefront for each and every one of us, especially Uranus. He's one of the sky gods, but he's also connected to electricity and anything to do with, well, he's going to be part of this big AI momentum that, again, we're just scratching the surface on here, my friends. Now, your fourth house of home, family, roots, self-care, how you take care of yourself, anything to do with property, the past, ancestry, retirement, mother, father, or authority figures in your life, or you as a parent, Taurus. So Jupiter is going to hop in here middle of 2026 until middle of 2027. And Jupiter expands on anything he touches. He wants to bring in growth, expansion, opportunity, blessings, and luck. But as I always say with Jupiter, I love working with Jupiter, but sometimes he can be too much. It's like that relative that comes over and you're like, oh my God, like when are they going to stop talking? When are they going to stop talking about the past? Why are they grudging up things from the past? Like sometimes Jupiter doesn't know any better because he's just like, you know what? I want to bless you, Taurus. I want to expand your home life. I want to expand your place of living. I want to bring in babies and pets, and all these family members are going to pile in on you. Possibly. That's just a simple example. This isn't for everyone, depending on what you're watching for. But Jupiter is going to open your eyes or expand your horizon in this respective area of life, my friends. And keep in mind, Jupiter here is going to be making squares to your planet's placements points. Jupiter squares are not bad, you guys. So I do not want you to panic or lose your mind over this. Jupiter, though, will make you move. Like some of you might literally relocate, especially if your IC actually falls down in your fourth house of Leo. So yes, you could definitely move. If you are getting a new place, whether it's an apartment, a condo, a tent, an RV, a new home, whatever the case may be, I almost guarantee it's going to be bigger than the place of living that you're in right now, or somebody's going to be moving in with you. And it could be a pet, it could be welcoming in a new baby. Usually the fifth house is the signature of pregnancy, but again, the fourth house can still expand on the home front from a family perspective. So maybe it's not you, maybe it's grandbabies, or again, what does expanding the family mean to you? It could also mean adopting, or again, bringing in some new furry pets into the home, for example, or again, even renting out your home or renting out a bedroom or something like that to a student, whatever the case may be, Taurus. So again, not a bad transit, my friends. And again, just think that Jupiter is trying to bring in more blessings in this area of life to you and for you. Also, I'm thinking of Santa Claus as well. So anybody that lives with you, I think they're also going to be blessed thanks to you, Taurus. But again, this really depends on your birth chart, my friend. So how is this impacting your personal birth chart, and what planet placement or point or angle are you watching for respectively? Okay, let's jump up to Pluto that has been in your 10th house since 2024 or 2023. So the 10th house, career, reputation, your public image, your status. So what does status mean? Status can mean, you know, what are you known for? Are you known for being married? Are you known for being single? Are you known for being in a common law relationship? Are you known for being a lawyer? Are you known for being a banker? You know what I mean? Like, what is your identity? The first house and the 10th house is a bit, even though they're squaring one another, the identity of the rising of the sun that you're watching for is always wrapped up in the career. Not always, but sometimes. It depends on if you live through your rising sign or if you live through your sun sign, my friends. So 10th house is also about long-term commitments and goals that you make. It's the legacy that you want to leave behind for whoever you fill in the blank, whether it's family, friends, loved ones, a business. 10th house is also bosses and authority figures. And again, this is an axis Taurus that represents mother, father, authority figures in your life. And also you as a parent, even if you have no kids and you're like, no, I live alone, but maybe you have some pets, for example. Well, you are a parent to that pet. That pet relies on you to feed it, to bathe it, to brush it, to groom it, whatever the case may be, Taurus. So Pluto up here is going to strip you down to your core over the next 18 years. He's got a long ways to go in this area of life, Taurus. Slowly but surely, he's going to be asking you, if you haven't already felt this, for those of you early degree Taurus, you must be feeling this. Probably, I'm thinking since 2022, if not 2021, perhaps. Pluto has the power to destroy, but he does have the power to heal and transform your life from the inside out. This is big life change, big life shifts, deep psychological change and transformation. Transformation at its ultimate power, at its ultimate level. So I'm just going to put it out there, Taurus, whatever you're doing right now from a 9 to 5, for those of you that are working, but even if you're not working, again, what is your status? What is your reputation? What are you known for? Some of you, it could be wrapped up in a relationship, and that's totally fine. I'm not here to judge, but this is a very public eye placement for you, Taurus. So again, Pluto is stripping you down to be authentically true to who you are. And that's the type of career Pluto, there we go, Pluto is asking you to step into over the next 18 years. So again, you might change careers over and over and over again, my friends, or some of you, this will be a slow and steady pace to you fill in the blank. Change your life and change your circumstances from a PowerPoint perspective. Like this is a big power player, Taurus, that's trying to power you up from the top, very public area of your sky. Okay, last but not least, your 12th house here. This is a very quiet, hidden house, my friends. So Saturn's going to be in here for about 2.5 years. Neptune is going to be in here for 14 years. So Saturn builds. He's the builder. So being in the 12th house, he's going to build on your dreams that you can apply to the career house. And then Neptune is going to bring in that boozy, woozy, dream-like state. Your dreams, I have no doubt, Taurus, are going to be off the charts vivid. This is also a very romantic transit as well. I would have to see your entire birth chart to see how this is coming together for you. But Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. So think creativity, self-expression, and love. I'm also picking up purpose, something to do with purpose here. But anyway, what is the 12th house? So the 12th house is all about preparing yourself for a brand new cycle. Well, yeah, this is cleaning out the closets. This is doing one final flush until Saturn moves into your sign. Again, not for another 2.5 years, Taurus. So pace yourself and give yourself grace. You're just getting ramped up and you're just starting to ask those questions of where is my time, my effort, my energy, my love, my money being spent? Those are some of the questions that are coming up subconsciously that may come into the conscious forefront or may stay in the subconscious. So then you're going to be attracting in people, places, things into your life, because the 12th house is synchronicity, to help you flush that out of your system once and for all. 12th house is healing. This is letting go, physically, mentally, psychologically, emotionally. This is awakenings, my friends, especially with Neptune in here. Spirituality and ultimate spiritual growth aspect here with Neptune. Dreams, solitude, getting to know yourself again, Taurus. So whether you're connected with someone or not, you might crave that solitude. Allow yourself that, I would say. Healing, again, on multiple levels. This just isn't about, oh, I cut myself and it's healing. No, this is healing on a dimensional level of your being, of your soul, of your body, of your vessel, of your everything. This is also the house of your hidden gifts, talents, and abilities, my friends. So bring them to the forefront. You have a long transit here with Neptune that's going to be pulling everything out of you. Neptune dissolves in the house of, well, Neptune dissolves anything it touches. But in the 12th house, he does pack a punch here. He loves being in the 12th house, my friends. All right, Taurus. Hopefully that gave you some nuggets, some information to think about. Again, the 4 areas of life that are going to be coming into focus for 2026. And again, beyond, because Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus are going to be taking us well beyond 2026. All right, Taurus, we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Gemini, let's talk about the 4 areas of life that are going to be highlighted and activated for you in 2026 and beyond, my friends, beyond, because Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus are going to be hovering in these areas of life for well beyond 2026. Now, just a reminder, I have all the dates on the right-hand side of the screen here. So take a screenshot if you're interested. I just am capturing the back and forth of these planets respectively, because again, they're still walking between the worlds in these areas of life. Okay, Gemini, I have to start in your first house, my friends. Of course, you have Uranus now in your sign in 2026 for 7 long years, my friends. I'm going to put it out there, Gemini. I think half of you are going to be bionic, in the next 7 years. I can picture some of you are going to literally be possibly AI. It's just going to be so amazing with this technology planet coming into a technology sign like yourself, like the internet and social media. It's just going to be off the charts. Like my curiosity is off the charts, I guess I should say. Maybe you're not fired up about it, Gemini, but I'm encouraging you to really lean into this transit, my friends. So let's talk about the first house. What exactly is the first house? It's your physical appearance. So again, I'm seeing a lot of you like literally split, like, you know, that movie I, Robot, like way back. Will Smith, I believe, was in it. Yes, Will Smith was in it, where, yeah, the robot, that's what they're showing me for Geminis out there. But anyway, your physical appearance, my friends, the identity. What does identity mean to you? Some folks, the identity is wrapped up in the career. Some folks, the identity is wrapped up in the home life, your children, your grandchildren, your relationships, your marriage, your business partnerships, or your business. So think of your identity, Gemini, and what exactly Uranus is going to be asking you to wake up and shake up when it comes to your identity, the physical body, the health and well-being of your body. How are you taking care of your body, Gemini? I'm going to challenge you to think outside the box when it comes to taking care of your health and well-being. First house touches on big, major life cycles and themes. Because if you've been following me for a while, I always say anything that happens in the first house technically ripples out to the career, status, public reputation, business, home life, love relationships, business partnerships, children, grandchildren, every single area of life the first house touches, my friends. First house is also about sort of your approach to life, especially if it's the rising sign. It's the glasses, it's the lenses that we wear, how we project ourselves. You know, think of walking into a room. How do you make an entrance, so to speak, or do you make an entrance? I can tell you right now, there's so many Geminis out there that are going to be rocking and rolling and shaking and waking up more than one or two audiences, my friends. You're going to be making waves in more than one way. Let's put it that way. So lots of change coming in, my friends, and look in the mirror, because I almost guarantee, Gemini, you ain't gonna look the same in a few years' time, or you're going to, again, possibly change the physical appearance of the face, the body, the physicality. And again, I keep sensing something to do with technology is going to be involved here. Anyway, let's move on to the third house. You have a flavor of the third house. So this is going to be a very fun, lighthearted social transit for you with Jupiter transiting your third house. So third house is all about the mind, communication, how you digest information, how you chew on information. It's your house of transportation, siblings, cousins, neighbors, relatives, extended family members. It's your local community, your local vicinity, or who you consider your community. Third house is also social media. So again, think expanding your social media presence. For those of you that have a website or an internet presence, again, expanding all of that in the third house. Third house is also short distance trips and traveling around, more so focused on your local environment, Gemini, but Jupiter does rule the ninth house, and I see Pluto is newly in your ninth house. So it really could be either or this year. And it also comes down to your, again, all of what I'm saying here comes down to your personal birth chart, my friends, and what exactly you're watching for. Is it the moon? Is it the sun? Is it the rising? Is it the Venus? Is it Mars? Like, what are you watching for? Okay, so that's the third house where Jupiter is going to, again, bring in expansion, growth, opportunity into your planet's placements and points, my friends, coming more so from local, but this is Jupiter. So there could also be an international connection here, or again, going big, Gemini, because again, this is about reaching a higher, wider audience, for example. Again, I'm feeling and picking up for you again, making waves. Make those waves, Gemini. Make those waves, I'm hearing. Okay, now your ninth house of Pluto. Again, Pluto's going to be here for a long time, my friends. So it's not a light switch. None of these planets are a light switch. Nothing is going to, drastically change on January the 1st. For some of you, it could, because again, this is where it comes down to your personal birth chart. But yeah, give yourself patience and grace and patience here, Gemini, because things will slowly but surely unfold in these areas of life. Now, Pluto up in the ninth house. Interesting transit. This is the house of the gods. This is the house of Jupiter, which again is across the street there in Leo, which technically doesn't start until middle of 2026, but Jupiter here will take us in well into middle of 2027. Ninth house is religion, spirituality, legal, or the law, basically, higher education, teaching, long distance traveling. So very transformational experiences, Gemini, over the next, 2 decades of long distance traveling. Think global, think big. Think, again, reaching that higher, wider audience. Ninth house is also ethics and belief systems. So again, Pluto is going to be stripping you down to being authentic in this area of life and helping you transform this area of life. And what exactly does religion or a higher power or the universe mean to you and for you? Keep in mind, Pluto here is also going to be trining your planet's placements points in Gemini, my friends. So Pluto is going to be powering you up from this angle, lucky you, over the next 2 decades. You're also going to have very transformational experiences with dealing with people all over the globe, all over the planet. This is also the house of pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone and whatever that means to you. And also we have eclipses here in the 9th house and the 3rd house. So I'll make a separate video about the new nodal eclipse cycle later on in 2026. But again, keep in mind what I mentioned, the 3rd house, the 9th house. Again, eclipses bring in rapid change in these areas of life as well. Okay, last but not least, we have your 11th house. Again, another social house. So your life houses and your social houses are really being woken up this year, my friends, which is, again, really nice energy pouring into your Gemini planets, placements, points. So the 11th house, this is, again, another sibling house. It's more so older siblings. But again, I'm just going to throw it out there in general. It's a general reading. Siblings in general, friends, groups, community, people that you rub shoulders with, like-minded individuals, personal or professional memberships or associations or unions that you belong to, and also your role within these groups or affiliations, Gemini. Do these groups lift you up and light you up from the inside out? Saturn's really going to be testing your friendship circles over the next 2.5 years, Gemini. Don't be scared of that, because again, at the end of the day, he's bringing in opportunity from your friendship circles. Something could be coming in over the next 2.5 years that you can actually build success on. 11th house is also your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. It's also another social media house, or it's connected to the internet, technology. The 11th house is also future, like those long-term commitments that you want to make. So with Neptune in here, my friends, Neptune is a higher octave of Venus. So Neptune, wherever he goes, Neptune dissolves, disintegrates. He does make us wear the rose-colored glasses when it comes to our friendship circles, my friends. So, and some of you, not all of you, you could find romance with affiliations or associations or humanitarian efforts over the next several years. But again, Neptune's here for 14 years, Gemini. So I'm just spitting out very, very, very simple examples. What this really comes down to is, how are these planets hitting your personal birth chart? That's what's also going to activate an additional layer here based on just the descriptions I provided with the 1st, the 3rd, the 9th, and the 10th and the 11th houses. But just think, Saturn will be building you up in this area of life, and Neptune is going to help dissolve away those friendship circles, those groups, those unions, associations, whatever that just is no longer needed in your life, my friends. And again, Neptune will be bringing in opportunity aspects to your planets, placements, points. Okay, Gemini, enjoy the year ahead, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Cancer, let's talk about the 4 areas of life that are going to be activated for you for the year ahead. So let's first start with your 2nd house, where Jupiter is going to be beginning middle of 2026. That's going to take you well into 2027. So Jupiter is leaving your sign, Cancer, and he will not be back for another 12 years. So let's talk about this 2nd house. It's all about money, earnings, finances, your savings account. What is your relationship to money, Cancer? Do you have a good relationship? Do you have a so-so relationship? That is going to be coming up for some introspection this year. And to be honest, with Jupiter here, I'm really hoping he will line your pockets, my friends. But Jupiter here will also make you spend money as well. So I do see money coming in for you, my friends, but it might exit your bank account just as fast. So just be mindful of that. 2nd house is also about your work. So whatever you do from a 9-to-5 perspective, it's your skills, your talents, your abilities, your gifts, what you bring to the table. It could also be about brushing up your skill set here as well. 2nd house is also your value system and material possessions and anything that belongs to you, Cancer. Now, for those of you that aren't working, I would say, again, how does money come to you? How do you live? Like, how do you pay the bills? How do you pay your taxes? How do you pay your grocery bill, your electricity bill? So is it your savings account? Is it your 401k? Is it your RSPs? Is it a pension? So again, with Jupiter here, I am thinking this is going to be, again, an expansion of the bank account, expansion of your investments, or even expansion of property, for example, because some folks invest in property for investment. So it's kind of like you're living off that rental income I'm thinking of. So Jupiter here, what does Jupiter do? He expands, he brings in growth, adventure, opportunity, and he just overall expands your horizons in this area of life, my friends. Any of you that are looking to change careers, definitely you have Jupiter on your side, and you will for an entire year. So again, starting middle of June, middle of 2026 until middle of 2027. I forgot to mention all the dates are on the slide here. I'm not going to drive you nuts by going line by line, but certainly you can take a screenshot and review those dates and make notes on your calendar. Okay, let's jump up to your 8th house, where Pluto is going to be for another 18 years, my friends. A very long transit. So he's finally out of your 7th house. This happened way back in, well, not way back in, but 2023, 2024. So what is the 8th house? 8th house, first of all, Pluto is very comfortable here in your 8th house. So he is going to be able to express himself quite vividly in the 8th house of death and rebirth and transformation. So the 8th house is also anything to do with deep psychological change or deep psychological situations. Anything to do with big life shifts and transitions, because again, it is the house of death and rebirth, of transformation. Think of the phoenix, think of the butterfly. Now, Cancer, I'm not saying you're going to die, my friends. Pluto here in this area of life does not see eye to eye with you. So these transformational experiences, I'm thinking, Cancer, will be around you. They're not going to be actually affecting you. It's more so, well, it will, but it's more so happening in your surroundings, in your bubble, if that makes sense. Because again, the 8th house makes an inconjunct to your planet's placements or points. So you are going to be naturally attracting transformational situations, circumstances, people, place, and things into your life. Because now with Pluto here, he wants to develop that transformational angle of you and strip you raw of what is authentically true to you in this area of life, my friends. And again, it could be psychological, or it could be something physical, tangible, because this is another wealth income house for you. So Jupiter and Pluto and the nodes of the moon are in these areas of life. I'm going to make a separate video about the North Node moving into Aquarius, probably not for another several months, so stay tuned for that. But again, big life shifts and transitions in your financial structure, Cancer. 8th house is also the mundane stuff, like I mentioned, the tangible stuff that we have to deal with in this human experience. You know, what can we not escape from in the 8th house? Guess what? Death and taxes, right? So taxes, debts, loans, dealing with big banks, dealing with big affiliations or associations, loans, shared finances, shared resources, property, inheritance. This is also the house of the shadow. This is also the house of deep intimacy, getting to know your partner on a different level. No more surface level in your partnerships, Cancer. This is also the house of fear, power, control, and sexuality as well, Cancer. So these things that I rambled off, at least one of them or multiple topics will be bubbling to the surface slowly but surely, and it'll ebb and flow, ebb and flow, ebb and flow. Because what this comes down to is your personal birth chart. What is Pluto aspecting in your personal birth chart? Again, he's not seeing eye to eye with your planet's placements points. You already had that when he was in Capricorn from 2008 until 2023, 2024. So he's now moved past your eyesight, so to speak. And now it's time to work on the subconscious mind and the financial structures of your being, of your life. And again, not an overnight transit, Cancer. Don't panic. Don't worry about it. Pluto operates in the background, but where you'll feel this transit is if he's making any direct hits or aspects to your personal planet's points or angles. Now, your 10th house is very active here with Saturn and Neptune up in your 10th house of career, status, reputation, your public image. What I mean by status is, where is your status wrapped up in, Cancer? Are you known for being single? Are you known for being a grandmother? Are you known for being a single parent? Are you known for being a caregiver? Are you known for being married? Are you known for being a doctor, a lawyer? Like, what are you known for? Everybody wraps their status up in something different. Like I said, it could be relationship, it could be career, it could be home, family status, grandchildren, whatever the case may be. Cancer. That is definitely up for some big life changes. Neptune's going to be here for 14 years, my friends. Neptune dissolves anything he touches. So your status is going to be changing, my friends. Some of you could get married, could get engaged, could take that next step with a partner because Saturn at the top of the sky puts a ring on it. So Saturn in the 10th house, which is making an aspect down to your rising or your relationship sector, especially if you're watching for your rising sign, my friends. Saturn is asking you to make a commitment in your career, in your status, in your reputation, with your partner, with your business, whatever this is for you, my friends. Saturn is asking you to build something here that will stand the test of time, not only for you, but it's about the legacy that you want to leave behind for, you fill in the blank there, your grandchildren, your children, your business partners, whatever the case may be. Humanitarian efforts, the church, like whatever you want, my friends, whatever you want. It's the legacy you want to leave behind. Saturn, first of all, will be coming in here testing that. And then Neptune in here will be asking you to release anything that's superficial or just it's not working up here in your career house. So career, status, goals, bosses, authority figures. This is also the house. This is also hitting your parental axis, Cancer. So mother, father, grandparents, authority figures in your life, my friends. Definitely shakeups and wake-ups, possibly in their life as well, if your parents are still with us. Of course, this depends on your age. Now, last but not least, we have your 12th house being activated here with Uranus. Now, the 12th house is very quiet. It's subconscious. It does have a similar feel to the 8th house, like I was describing with Pluto here. But the 12th house is way more secretive, way more hidden. Think about the veil between the two worlds, or multiple dimensions for that matter, whatever your belief systems are. It's that veil being woke up, shook up by Uranus, the technology planet. The planet that's all about invention and reinvention and humanitarian efforts and group efforts. So, Cancer, I'm just going to put it out there. Whatever your belief systems are, we talked about that in the 2nd house with Jupiter. But with Uranus here, I have no doubt there's going to be some shakeups and wake-ups when it comes to what does awakenings mean to you. To be honest, what's coming into my mind is like paranormal experiences, talking with the gods, seeing images or loved ones that have crossed over or passed. Your antenna is going to go way up, Cancer. And I hope this doesn't scare any of you. This is a transit I want you to lean into and embrace, my friends. Because I feel like with Uranus in your 12th house, it's like blessings and synchronicity coming in disguise. Anyway, 12th house in general is about endings and new beginnings, preparing for a big new cycle, which is basically when Uranus comes into your sign. But again, Uranus is going to be here for 7 years. So I don't even want to talk about Uranus in your sign yet, when we don't even have a firm footing of what Gemini Uranus is going to bring being in Gemini. Again, think technology on top of technology on top of AI. Like, I mean, we're just scratching the surface with this kind of stuff. And Cancer, you could be a part of this, because with all these planets at the top of your sky, it's very public stature here with the kite formation. So you could be reaching new heights in your career. Again, depending on your age, your circumstances, and what you want to reach for. I would encourage you, Cancer, to reach for the stars. But again, you do you, my friends. Anyway, back to the 12th house. Endings, new beginnings, letting go. Where is your time, your energy, your effort, your love, your money? Where is all that going? Where is it being spent? Who is it being spent on? Uranus, again, could break you free from multiple restrictive areas of life that are bogging you down. Because again, the 12th house has, to me, a similar feel to that first house, because it's cleaning out the closets. It's going up in the attic and doing a clean sweep for you, like on your behalf, which backs into the first house, or backs onto the first house, the rising sign. 12th house is dreams. Very vivid dreams are coming your way, Cancer. And again, you got a taste of this in 2025. Check out the dates on the screen here where he was going back and forth here between your 11th house and 12th house. Excuse me. This is also the house of healing, solitude, hidden gifts, talents, and abilities, Cancer, as well, are going to be awakened. Like I said, this is a huge house, a huge transit, I mean, of awakening, because Uranus is the ultimate awakener. And he's a sky god. So it's like, you know, some of you, again, are going to be hearing things, seeing things. Lean into that. Lean into that curiosity. All right, Cancer, we will talk to you and see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Leo, let's talk about the 4 areas of life where these big heavy hitters are going to be activating multiple areas of life for you in 2026 and beyond, for that matter, especially the slower moving planets here. So let's first start with Jupiter, that's going to be moving into your sign middle of 2026, and it's going to last until 2027, my friends. So what does this mean? First, let's talk about what exactly the first house actually is. It's us. It's our bodies. It's our vessel. It's our physicality. It is our physical appearance. It's the identity. So whenever I say identity, what is your identity wrapped up in, Leo? So some of us express ourselves through our sun. Some of us express ourselves through the rising sign. So it really comes down to which one do you express yourself. So is your identity wrapped up in a relationship? Is it wrapped up in your career? Is it wrapped up in how you, the rising I'm thinking, how you enter the world? It's the glasses and the lenses that we wear. It's the projections we put out there into the world. So your identity, Leo, could definitely go through an overhaul over the next year. Health and well-being of the body, I'm going to say, is also going to be important, along with any sort of major life themes. So if you've been following me for a while, I always talk about anything that happens in the first house from a whole sign perspective. It's going to touch multiple areas of life. So it'll more than likely touch your career, your home life, your family life, whatever family means to you, and your relationships. Now, relationships could be all walks of life: friends, family, loved ones, business partnerships, Leo. So with Jupiter in here, think of adventure, think of opportunity, Think of expanding your horizons on multiple levels, because this could be literally, but this could be spiritually as well, because Jupiter is moving from the 12th to the 1st. So he's bringing in those lessons that he learned middle of 2025 into 2026, pulling them from the 12th house into the 1st house, bringing your hopes, your wishes, your dreams to fruition. This is synchronicity at its finest, Leo. And again, pulling them into the tangible realm, for example, for you. Now, I'm going to just throw it out there because actually I learned this through some of my clients, which I found funny. And actually, I think somebody commented on one of my YouTube videos years ago where she said when Jupiter came into her 1st house, she got pregnant. And you know what? I didn't even think of that. I wouldn't even have thought of that, because Jupiter can expand your waistline. So that's only my caution, Leo. I'm not saying all of you are going to be fat, okay? I'm a Leo sun, so I mean, I'm right there with you, my friends. But this could be, for some of you, a pregnancy transit. So I'm just going to throw it out there. Thanks to that person who commented years ago on this. But again, watch the waistline, my friends, because Jupiter can cause bloating in the body, like retention in the body. You're a fire sign though. So, I mean, if you were a water sign, it would be more of an issue, but a fire sign can release that pent up energy quite rapidly. So anyway, just again, you guys, is this applicable to everybody? Absolutely not. Look at your birth chart, see what else Jupiter is aspecting in your birth chart. And of course, it depends on what you're watching for. Is it your sun? Is it your rising? Or is it your moon? If it is your rising, though, keep in mind, this is your physical being, your physical body. If you're watching for a Leo sun, like myself, it's the career. So it's an expansion of the career. Again, opening up your horizons, my friends, and bringing in new, fresh opportunities and perspectives from a career standpoint. And I think you're also going to be very busy this year, Leo, and again into 2027 with this transit. If it's your moon sign, it's something to do with expansion on the home front, or again, pregnancy, or welcoming in something new into the home, or expanding the home, renovating the home, building out. Whatever it is with the home, it's going to be bigger. It's not going to be smaller with Jupiter, because Jupiter, again, expands anything he touches. Okay, let's move to your 7th house, where Pluto will continue to be for the next 18 years, my friends, 18 years. So 7th house is pretty straightforward. Relationships, anything to do with your one-to-one connections. So is it love? Is it business? Is it friendships? Is it family members? Is it contracts, agreements, negotiations? Leo, you're going to be attracting in powerful people into your life. I'm also picking up transcendence or transformational experiences from other people, from the other. Also, you're going to be signing on the dotted line. You're going to be signing your life away. This could be marriage. This could be a big job opportunity. But again, Pluto is going to be in here a long time, you guys. So think over and over and over. Pluto is going to peel the layers of you, Leo, to make sure that you are being authentically true to you when it comes to your one-to-one connections, and also contracts, agreements, negotiations. And this is the house of marital agreements as well, Leo. One thing I want to quickly mention is the South Node will be moving into your sign middle of 2026. This is a release point, Leo. And the North Node in the 7th house, for those of you that are single, I'm going to put it out there right now. You're definitely going to be attracting in a partner. Could be 2026, it could be 2027 or beyond. I'm going to make a separate video about the eclipse cycles, and stay tuned for that. I probably won't release it for not until maybe May, I'm thinking, of 2026. But again, 2026 packs an extra special punch for you and Aquarius, because now the eclipses are moving into your territory in 2026, 2027, and 2028. So just to kind of give you a heads up about that. Okay, let's move to your 9th house here. Saturn is going to be here for 2.5 years. Neptune is going to be here for 14 years, my friends. The house of the gods. I love this, Leo, for you. I absolutely love this. The 9th house is religion, spirituality, law, legal institutions, or big educational institutions, higher education, teaching, mentoring, training, coaching, publishing, getting that book out of you, Leo. There's lots of you out there. I can already feel it. You're going to be pulling out a book or some sort of creative project, and that will be your new creative endeavor, like birthing a new creative endeavor that you can live. Like that'll be your new career, especially with Jupiter. Jupiter rules the 9th house of the gods in your 1st house of your physicality, like we covered off there. So Leo, I am very pumped for this transit for all Leos out there, 2026 and 2027. So I personally am fired up about this myself. Very excited for Saturn and Neptune being in this 9th house, Jupiter in the 1st house, Saturn also bringing in, Uranus also bringing in opportunity and blessings as well. 9th house is also about long distance traveling, people at a distance from you. This is international shores, foreign lands, foreign cultures, dealing with people from all walks of life all over the globe. And Leo, push yourself outside of your comfort zone. That's what the 9th house represents. It's going big or going home. Now, Saturn, though, does restrict and constrict, but he does build. He's the great builder, my friends. And whatever you're learning right now, if you are learning something new, if you are going to school, while Saturn is in Aries, this is going to stand the test of time. Whatever you're learning in the next 2.5 years that technically started in 2025, this will stand the test of time. Your educational, the mindset is coming in here. Neptune here is going to bring in that spirituality spin, the religion spin, whatever that means to you. Spirituality, the universe, God, the light, the creator, whatever that means to you, Mother Earth. I love Neptune in here. Neptune is going to dissolve anything in this area of life, Leo, that is just not working for you anymore. And again, you're going to have Neptune in here for a long time. And both of these planets are pouring in blessings into your sign, Leo. So I love this. I love this transit for Leos. Leos need this. Leos need this, my friend. Neptune and Saturn in the 8th house. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, time to move on. Okay, last but not least, Uranus. So Uranus, newly out of your 10th house, moving into the 11th house of older siblings. So probably, well, I'm just going to throw out in general siblings. Those of you that have siblings, there could be some wake-ups, shake-ups, awakenings in their lives, like big change coming in for them as well. Friendship circles, groups, community, associations, personal, professional memberships, unions, humanitarian efforts, big group or global efforts, Leo. And your leader, oh yeah, some of you are going to be like leaders. Like I can see you being behind a big movement, and Leos are natural leaders. Leos lead from the heart. This is your role, Leo, within these groups, associations, affiliations, union, humanitarian efforts, whatever. It's the house of your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. So again, think big, Leo. I'm really challenging you and encouraging you to reach for the stars. Look how these planets are angled in the chart. I know this is a belly button basic chart here, but everything is at the top of the sky, very public. So Leo, go big. Even if it's just local in your community, you can make big waves, my friends. You can touch the hearts of many, many, many people over and across the globe by just staying at home, if that makes sense. Because again, the internet, 11th house is the internet. The 11th house is social media. So get your business out there, get your ideas out there, Leo. Get your stuff online. It doesn't have to be today, it doesn't have to be tomorrow, but it's something I want you to sit with and sort of lean into in 2026. 11th house is anything that lights you up and lifts you up, Leo. So again, Uranus here, you're going to be attracting in some very unusual new friendships, some unusual new circumstances, people, places, and things. And they might come out of nowhere because it's Uranus after all. I also forgot to mention another romantic connection here is Neptune, the higher octave of Venus, being in the 9th house. You could definitely attract in a business partnership or a love partnership from a distance, or they're going to be different from you in some way, shape, or form. Could be an age gap, could be somebody across the globe, it could be somebody with a totally different cultural background that you never thought in a million years you'd be attracted to or connected to from a business perspective or a marketing perspective. All right, Leo, 2026 is going to be fantastic. So enjoy the year ahead, but I will definitely see you back here in my monthly videos. So till then, we will see you in the next video, Leo. Hey, Virgo, let's talk about the 4 areas of life that are going to be activated for you in 2026 and beyond, for that matter, because most of these planets we're going to talk about and areas of life we're going to talk about, they're going to be staying in these respective signs for definitely over a year, except Jupiter. So Virgo, let's first start with Pluto in your 6th house. So Pluto is going to be here for a long, long time, my friends. And Pluto moving out of your 5th into your 6th, he does not see you anymore eye to eye. In the 5th house, he could see you. He could make an aspect to you. But in the 6th house, it's more of an inconjunct. And yeah, it's pretty much as awkward as it sounds. But he won't be seeing you again for another 18 years or so when he hops into your opposite sign of Pisces. But anyway, let's break down the 6th house here. So this is about your day-to-day duties and responsibilities. The 6th house is all about how can I be of service, or how are you being of service? It is a work house, so whether you're working or not working, if you're not working, I do encourage you to lean into humanitarian efforts, my friends, or collective efforts, because I think, again, Pluto is asking you to not only transform this area of life, but he's going to be attracting in some pretty transformational people, places, things, situations, and jobs or volunteer jobs that are going to completely transform and change your life beyond what you can even comprehend right now in 2025 and 2026. So day-to-day duty responsibility, it's your health, it's your diet, it's your fitness, it's pets and animals lie in the 6th house as well. This also includes farms, like larger maybe organizations that have anything to do with animals. This is habits, routines, the workplace, your working environment, co-workers are also in the 6th house. This is the house of anything to do with your obligations. It is a heavier house, the 6th house of being of service. It is heavier. Virgo, you have a connection to the 6th house because your energy in the 6th house is a little bit connected. It's not exactly the same, but there is a connection there between you and the 6th house. So you are very familiar with this energy. So again, Pluto is going to continue to melt away anything that is not exactly working in this area of life. Now, Pluto does pack a punch, as we all know. I don't like demonizing Pluto like everybody else does, because Pluto has a purpose. There's always a purpose for Pluto. And Pluto is very powerful. Yes, he can destroy, but he is a healing planet, which I think a lot of folks sort of forget about or disregard. He is affiliated with Scorpio, which is one of the great healers of the zodiac. And Pluto here is also about big life shifts and change and transformation, Virgo. So I'm personally very, very, very excited for you. Your entire being, your entire physicality, your relationship to your pets, your relationship to your coworkers, your workplace, or whatever it is that you do of, again, how are you of service is going to completely transform. And Pluto is asking you, how can you be authentically true to you in this area of life? And again, it's a long transit here, Virgo. Let's hop to the 8th house. This is a financial house for you, Virgo. And again, Neptune and Saturn don't see eye to eye with you. It's another inconjunct with this transit of Saturn and Neptune in this area of life, coming out of Pisces, out of across the street from you, and moving into another awkward angle, sort of like Pluto. But that doesn't mean you're not going to feel this, Virgo. You definitely will feel this in this respective area of life, but also double, triple check your chart as well, Virgo, just to see if, you know, Pluto and Neptune and Saturn and Uranus and Jupiter are making any aspects, direct aspects to your angles or personal planets. Anyway, the 8th house. This is deep psychological change in the 8th house. It is big life shifts and changes, similar to what I talked about in the 6th house. But the 8th house gets more deep and intense and gets right into our soul, right into the psyche, so to speak. This is also the house of death and rebirth. Again, this is the Scorpio type of house, type of energy, I should say. This is Pluto's house. So it's about death and rebirth, and what does that mean for you when it comes to your finances and the 3D material realm, so to speak. Neptune here is going to actually spiritualize for this, Virgo, or spiritualize this transit for you, where Saturn is going to come along and help you build your wealth, and Neptune will dissolve and disintegrate anything in this area of life that is not for you, that is not working for you. There's a higher purpose here. The outer planets we can't see with the naked eye. So yes, Neptune can dissolve things, money, material possessions. Your partner's finances and income could go through a transition or a shift, but there's always a bigger purpose. Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus can see stuff that we can't see or sense yet. But there's always a silver lining here when these heavy hitters transit any area of life, for that matter. The 8th house is also the mundane stuff, like I mentioned. So taxes, debts, loans, dealing with big banks, dealing with big institutions. 8th house is more so about your shared finances, but I can appreciate not all of you are probably connected to someone. So it is about business partnerships. If you are in business with someone or in bed with someone, or it's how does money come to you? How does money flow from an employer, your client, taxes, alimony? Does somebody pay for your expenses? That is going to change. Again, is it going to change January 1st or February 1st? No. This is a slow and steady process. Again, Neptune is going to be here for 14 years, my friends. Saturn, 2.5 years approximately. So something here is definitely going to shift and pivot that will impact you in some way, shape, or form. Again, I don't want you to worry or fear. This is actually a great transit for building a business. Some of you are going to monetize a spiritual business, because again, Neptune is here, or something to do with love. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. So Venus here in the 8th house of sexuality could also bring in a partnership as well, Virgo. You could also get closer to your partner with this aspect as well. 8th house is also the shadow. It's the house of fear, power, and control. Now, Saturn in here can bring the fear. Sometimes when Saturn, I remember when Saturn came into my 8th house, it sort of shook me from a financial standpoint. But now that Saturn is moving out of my 8th house, I feel way more solid, stable, secure. And I now thank Saturn. Again, whenever Saturn leaves a sign, he usually gives us a gift if we've put in the work, though. So now that Saturn has given me some wake-up calls, shake-ups, transitions in my finances, in how I earn a living and treat money, I thank Saturn now, because Saturn will make sure you are building on a solid, firm foundation. And again, if this doesn't resonate with you, Virgo, this would be your partner. This would be your partnership sector. So your partner is going to build on their finances. Maybe it's time to get a banking advisor, Virgo, and getting that opinion, professional advice of, okay, how can I make my money work for me? I'm retired, or I want to retire in 5 years or so. How can this get done? Saturn in here is really going to help you do that. Neptune, though, my friends, can be tricky in a financial house. Think of water moving through your hands, right? That's how money can slip through your fingers with Neptune in a financial house. So I do want to caution that, because wherever Neptune goes, we wear the rose-colored glasses. So again, Neptune can work in both ways, but at the end of the day, the outer planets are always working with us, my friends, not against us. Okay, let's move to the 10th house, where Uranus will be for 7 years. So the 10th house is a very public house, Virgo. This is all about career, reputation, your public image, your status. What do I mean by status? What is your status wrapped up in, Virgo? Is it a relationship? Is it marriage? Is it your grandchildren? Is it a career path? Is it that you mix and mingle with the right people, that you have the right publisher, that you have this, that you have that? This is going to completely change. And Uranus, for all of you, are going to be breaking you free from something in this area of life. Again, for some of you, it could be retirement. It could be your career, a drastic, out of this world career change, my friends. Some of you definitely are going to be leaning into taboo or technology or something totally off the wall that maybe you're just scratching the surface on now. By the end of this transit, you're going to look back and say, wow, I have completely overhauled this area of life. Could also have a connection to your image, I have a feeling as well. 10th house is the legacy that you want to leave behind. It's your long-term commitments and goals. It's also a parental house. So your parental axis is being highlighted here as well, especially if you have anything in Sagittarius. So mother, father, authority figures, bosses. You're definitely going to be attracting in some wild and wacky bosses, or you're going to notice their behavior is going to change, my friends. And if you are a boss, Virgo, your behavior is going to change. You might not even realize it, but trust me, someone's going to mention it to you. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but you're going to take on that Uranian, that unique, out of this world sort of flair into your personality. If it's your sun or your rising sign that you're watching for. And also you as a parent, something to do with you as a parent could be going through some shifts and changes as well. Now, Jupiter in the 12th house. This is a quieter transit, Virgo. I'm going to be honest. Again, Jupiter doesn't see eye to eye with you. So it's a quieter transit, but it's like having a double, triple spiritual team that has your back. I'm not saying you don't have that already, Virgo, but think of it as maybe you go from a couple guides, a couple spiritual mentors on the other side to like a whole football team, okay, of spiritual guides and mentors, and they switch out. Actually, I think this is a transit that switches out your spiritual guides. But anyway, synchronicity is going to be huge for you over the next year, Virgo. Keep in mind the dates on the right-hand side of the slide. Jupiter does not hop into your 12th house until middle of 2026 and will stay there until middle of 2027. The 12th house is all about preparing for a brand new cycle, endings and new beginnings, letting go. Where is your time, your energy, your effort, your love being spent? Where is it going, Virgo? That's going to be coming up for some introspection. Jupiter is going to be bringing in awakenings on multiple levels. Again, think synchronicity, people, places, things coming into your realm, into your experience. Jupiter is about broadening your horizons. So spirituality could really take a different hold on you. As I mentioned earlier, for those of you that wanting to do a spiritual business, this is a really good transit to either launch it or definitely start dabbling in that. Because again, you have Jupiter here for over a year. Well, a year starting middle of 2026 to middle of 2027, I should say. So spiritual growth, awakenings, multiple dimensional awakenings. Okay, not just, oh, I'm woke, I'm already woke. Well, we go through multiple awakenings. And again, that's my opinion. Again, I'm not speaking the truth here, Virgo, or preaching, but that's just my opinion, that you're going to be going through multiple awakenings. Dreams are going to be way more vivid and colorful. Solitude, healing is going to be very important. And again, healing on multiple levels, not just, oh, I cut myself and I can heal. No, mental, physical, spiritual healing is coming in. 12th house is also about your hidden talents, gifts, and abilities, my friends. So beautiful transits for you in the next year, Virgo, and like I said, beyond. So we will see you back here in the next video. Enjoy 2026. Hey Libra, let's talk about the 4 areas of life that are going to be activated for you over the next year and beyond for some of these outer planets. So Libra, let's first start with Pluto down in your 5th house. So what is the 5th house? Children, grandchildren, love affairs, romance, dating, sex, creativity, self-expression, drama, joy, fertility, gambling, and hobbies, my friends. This is the house where they ask you, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up, Libra? And you say, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be this. I want to be that. I want to be, on the cover of a romance novel or whatever the case may be. This is where the spark of life starts in the 5th house. It is the pregnancy house, my friends. Depending on your age, I'm just going to throw it out there. Obviously, some of you are going to go through some big life transformational experiences when it comes to pregnancy, when it comes to fertility, when it comes to your children or grandchildren, or something to do with working with children. Now, if that doesn't resonate, again, it's those creative projects and endeavors that are being birthed in you right now. This is an 18-year transit, Libra. So again, pace yourself, give yourself some grace. It's definitely not all going to come down the pipe in 2026, but this is where it comes down to your personal birth chart, especially those of you that are early degree Libras. Pluto is working with you and has been working with you directly since 2022, 2023, when he was getting to the very, very, very end of Capricorn there. So Pluto asks us to transform. He peels away the superficial in the area of life that he transits, Libra. So big transformational life changes are coming into this 5th house for you. Now the 7th house, you have Saturn, you have Neptune in here. Neptune's going to be in your relationship sector, my friends, for 14 years. Yes, 14 years. Saturn's going to be here for about 2.5 years. Libra, I'm just going to put it out there. If you are single now, especially Libra risings, Libra suns, a little bit different message. It would be about your career. But Libra risings, those of you that have a love line, a descendant through Aries, I would say you more than likely have a serious partnership coming in. One that will, I am hopeful that will stand the test of time. Again, this is where I need to see your personal birth chart. So again, if you know your birth chart, great. And if you don't, hang in there. Just bear with me here. But Saturn in the 7th house is bringing in a commitment. He puts a ring on it, Libra. Or again, this could be a common law relationship coming in. Again, whatever your belief system are with your relation, when it comes to your one-to-one connections. Neptune is the higher octave of your ruler, Libra, which is Venus. So again, Neptune brings in the love, the creativity aspect. a higher source, like a bigger connection, like a past life connection almost. But again, I would have to see your chart to kind of see the transits of this and exactly where your nodes are. Pluto in the 5th house can bring in a power player, a big romantic gesture, or again, a very powerful partner that you could be attracting in Libra. Again, timing is difficult with these slower moving planets. But again, if you know your chart, double, triple check your chart, my friends. Now, if you're already in a solid relationship, this could again have something to do with your work, your commitments, your current marriage could be going through some shifts and adjustments and changes. Regardless, Libra, with Saturn and Neptune in your opposite sign, this is challenging you to find that balance in your relationships, your current relationships, love, business, family, friends. So if you're the one doing all the work, Libra, Saturn is going to help you rebalance that and instill those boundaries. Saturn's going to help you throw up those boundaries. And if you're saying to yourself, no, I'm a people pleaser, I'm going to do everything above and beyond, you might think differently once Saturn comes out of this 7th house. Because if you're too tilted over, Libra, you're going to suffer. Your health is going to suffer. Your relationships are going to suffer. So as I mentioned, this is evening out the playing field, seeing your partnerships eye to eye, and what exactly does a partnership mean to you and for you. Does it lift you up and light you up, or does it drain you? Like, how do you feel in a partnership? And again, love, business, however you want to, however this resonates with you. If you're already connected with someone, Neptune here can help spiritualize it. So going on a journey with your partner, a spiritual journey, getting remarried, saying your vows again, renewing your vows, I guess I should be saying, and just taking a next step with your partner, whatever that means to you or for you, my friends. Yes, Neptune dissolves. So if there is a relationship that you're currently in right now, whether it's a friend, a family member, a loved one, or a business partnership, or a job for that matter, because this is also the house of contracts, agreements, negotiations, Neptune's going to dissolve that for your highest good. But keep in mind, Saturn's in here. He's going to bring in the right people, places, things towards you that, again, are going to stand the test of time. Neptune's going to wash away the relationships that you no longer need. Or again, what are your belief systems around relationships? I think that's also going to change as well, Libra, especially if you're the one that's always doing all the work in relationships. Neptune is going to help you change that aspect of yourself. Okay, let's jump to Uranus. So Uranus is in your 9th house of the gods. This is religion, this is spirituality, this is legal matters or legal situations like dealing with the court system. This is also higher education, so big educational institutions, upgrading your skill set, teaching, mentoring, coaching, training, book publishing. Man, Libra, if any of you are out there that are like, man, I got to get that book out, I got to get that book out, I would say do your best to try to get some traction this year, my friends. With Saturn, the commitment in your 7th house of contracts, Uranus in your house of the gods of channeling, of bringing the information from a source and channeling it into a book, Jupiter in your 11th house of internet, social media, and sales, gains, Libra. So again, you don't have to do it today or tomorrow, but just something to think about for those of you that, again, want to get your coaching business off the ground, want to, become a teacher, a mentor, a trainer, whatever the case may be. Now is the time to start getting that traction. Some of you might have started this in 2025. Keep that up, keep that momentum, and do not give up, my friends. Do not give up. Think of a train. Okay, it's pretty tough to stop a train. So just keep moving, my friends, because trust me, something is going to be coming to fruition over the next couple years with this kite formation connecting your life houses and social houses. So 5, 7, 9, and 11. Life and social houses here. Okay, going back to the ninth house. Ethics, belief systems are going to be changing for you. Uranus is the epitome, the definition of change. Nothing remains the same when Uranus flies through a house, but he will be here for 7 years, Libra. So similar energy to Neptune and Pluto. They do not happen overnight. And this is where your personal birth chart comes in. If Uranus is touching anything in your chart, trust me, you're going to feel it. It might make your head spin, but once the transit's over and done with, you're like, thank God that happened. Thank God Uranus broke me free, broke me away from the shackles of you fill in the blank. Ninth house is long distance trips, long distance traveling, dealing with people from all over the globe, dealing with people at a distance. And ninth house is pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, Libra. And again, Uranus is making really nice aspects to you, just like Pluto is over the next several years. I'm not saying it's going to be easy though. Trines, even from Pluto and Uranus, again, they're going to push you. They're going to challenge you to take action in these areas of life. Last but not least, Jupiter. Jupiter in your 11th house of gains, my friends. This is good news for your pocketbook. Okay, so all the hard work that you've been doing up to this point and even well into 2026, because Jupiter does not move in your 11th house until middle of 2026. He's going to be here until middle of 2027. So he will line your pockets with something to do with the career or retirement or investments or pensions or 401k or your clients or whatever the case may be. Whatever it is that you do from a work perspective, or again, I can appreciate not all of you are working. It's your source of income. It's some sort of expansion of the wallet that's coming in here. 11th house is also siblings. So perhaps your siblings, or a sibling, I should say, it's usually an older sibling, but I'm going to just generalize it. It's a general reading to just siblings in general. There could be some benefits coming in for them, blessings, synchronicity coming into their lives, adventure coming into their lives over the next year. 11th house is friendship circles, groups, community, memberships, personal, professional memberships, unions, humanitarian efforts, and it's also your role within these groups and associations and affiliations. This is also the house of your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, social media, the internet. Get that website up, Libra. Get your presence known online, my friends. I would highly recommend that, especially with, again, Uranus and Gemini, the technology transit here, Pluto and Aquarius, Jupiter in your 11th house of social media. Definitely get yourself online if that interests you, okay? That's not going to resonate for all of you. Your role within these groups could be up for some change, up for some introspection. Excuse me, this is also the house of the future, long-term commitments and goals, and the 11th house, what lifts you up and lights you up, my friends. So really nice energy coming in here, expanding your horizons, connecting you with new people, possibly global. You know, it's definitely going to be beyond your local vicinity. It's going to, like, think bigger than that. Like big global connections, I'm thinking. And this is the house of humanitarian efforts as well, if I didn't already mention that. So connecting with like-minded people from all over the globe. Or perhaps even meeting somebody at a distance from you, I'm thinking. Could be a possibility as well. All right, Libra. So those are the areas of life that are being activated. All the dates are on the slide here if you want to take a screenshot of the planets moving back and forth. Enjoy 2026, and we will see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Scorpio, let's talk about the 4 areas of life that are going to be activated for you for the year ahead and possibly beyond. So let's start with Pluto in your 4th house at the bottom of your sky. So what is the 4th house? It's all about home, family, foundation, ancestry, your roots, your property, your self-care, like how you are taking care of yourself, Scorpio. It's about the past. It's retirement or planning for retirement. It is the mother-father axis as well. Jupiter and Pluto are going to be activating either the mother, the father, you as a mother or father, or grandparents or bosses or people in authority is what not only Pluto, but also Jupiter will be activating for you as well, my friends. So Pluto is going to be here for a long time. Pluto is one of your rulers. You're also ruled by Mars traditionally. Pluto is more of a modern planet, but again, still has the very same transformational feel that Scorpio brings to the table naturally. But anyway, Pluto in the 4th house, another 18 years of this, my friends. So pace yourself, give yourself grace. If you're an early born Scorpio, or maybe you have Pluto in Scorpio, you're part of that generation, Pluto, again, will slowly start to creep up on your planet's placements points. Pluto always transforms above and beyond, mentally, psychically, emotionally, mentally, physically, everything. Like Pluto turns you inside out over and over and over again. Think of the phoenix, think of the butterfly, things like that. You're never, ever, ever going to be the same wherever Pluto transits, my friends. So again, at the bottom of your sky, I'm just going to throw it out there. Definitely transformational experiences coming in to do with home, family, foundation. What does family mean to you? What does ancestry mean to you? Pluto is going to slowly strip you, Scorpio. And you're okay with this, my friends. You're one of the signs, again, you're well familiar with this. I have no doubt whether you're sun or rising or moon for that matter, you know exactly what I am talking about. So it's about powering up this area of life and being authentically true to not only who you are, Scorpio, but the people that you surround yourself with and who you call family. This is also adjustments with quite literally your property and your place of living. I think that's going to be going through a lot of transformational change over, again, long transit here over the next 18 years. Okay, let's jump to your 6th house. This is the house of how can I be of service? So Saturn is going to be here for about 2.5 years. Neptune is going to be here for 14 years, my friends. So the 6th house does not see eye to eye with you. Like you cannot see each other on the chart. Saturn and Neptune in your 5th house, they made aspects to you, Scorpio. So now moving into the 6th house, they're making inconjuncts to you, which I know it's as awkward as it sounds. It's more of a psychological angle. But anyway, we'll break down the house in general. Day-to-day duty and responsibility. It's your work. For those of you that are working. Now, if you're not working, I encourage you to lean into something that you're passionate about. And Scorpio, with Neptune in here, definitely spirituality or religion is going to shake up this area of life. It's going to be bringing in an angle of the spiritual realm or spirituality or the universe or God or the creator or Mother Earth, whatever your belief systems are. Neptune is actually going to incorporate this now into your day-to-day. For those of you that dabble in this work, taboo, astrology, psychic, mediumship, investigations, getting to the bottom of a situation, Neptune is going to be spiritualizing this area of life, bringing in that spiritual day-to-day practice. This is also the house of health and well-being, my friends. So please, 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 if you haven't already done so, start taking care of yourself, my friends, because Saturn in here will test the bones, the structures, the teeth of the body, the spine. Like what keeps us upright. If we did not have Saturn, we would not have bones and structures of the body. So make sure you are taking care of that. Consider also alternative health care, my friends. So I'm thinking chiropractic care, reflexology, acupuncture, naturopathic health care. Because again, it is the house of diet, health, nutrition. But again, Neptune in here is saying get a second opinion. Saturn is pretty traditional. Saturn's like, yeah, go see a doctor, make sure you're taking care of yourself. But Neptune is going to spin that for you and say, you know what? You're not really getting an answer from a traditional doctor. So you might want to go to a medicine woman, or you might want to think about herbs or other medicinal products on the market, or again, seeking out professionals, even energetic healers, light workers that can help you move the energy in the body, Scorpio, and you can heal on different energetic levels that you never thought would be possible. So anyway, just something to think about. Sixth house is also about your habits and routines. Saturn in here, excellent time to go on a diet, an excellent time to stick with an exercise routine. Neptune, though, he's the boozy woozy planet, okay? So think like alcohol, all the fun stuff. Sex, drugs, rock and roll is Neptune. Whenever I think of Neptune, it's where we put on the rose-colored glasses. So as long as Saturn is here, he's going to help you build up a really good daily routine of exercise and diet and health. And I would just encourage you to stick with it. Because then once Saturn leaves this area of life, Neptune might challenge you and be like, well, what about that chocolate bar? What about taking a sip of alcohol? And you haven't done that in years and years and years, right? So it's the battlefield of that Neptunian boozy woozy aspect with the planet of reality checks. Sixth house is also pets and animals, farms. It's the workplace. It's your coworkers. It's the people that, it's the atmosphere of the work environment as well. If you're going after that promotion, Scorpio, I encourage you to, Saturn's going to help you climb that ladder. We'll get to Jupiter. Jupiter is definitely going to be bringing in blessings from the career sector, and also your status and reputation could blow up in a good way. Scorpio, okay? I want to be clear on that, but I'll get to that in a second. But anyway, your sixth house, how can I be of service? How can I lean into my spiritual belief systems? How can I honor my religion? Again, whatever your belief systems are on a daily basis, how can I honor that? How can I lean into spirituality on a daily basis to keep my stress level down? Some of you could step into spiritual work, because this is a house of work. And again, Saturn is going to help you build a solid foundation in this work house, my friends. So I do, not a horrible transit, not a bad transit at all. Okay, let's jump to your eighth house. So Uranus coming out of your seventh house of partnerships. Uranus is in a similar situation as Saturn and Neptune. He does not really see you anymore. So Uranus, has been transiting your opposite sign since 2018, right? Yeah, 2018. Now he's moving into your eighth house, making an inconjunct to you. Again, not a bad transit. It's more deep psychological change, similar to like Saturn in the sixth, building up. It's like strength of the mind, of the psyche, right? You're building in those daily habits, routines, diet, health, nutrition, building that into the structures of your body, but also your schedule, your day-to-day. So Uranus, though, is doing something similar in the eighth house from a psychological perspective, but this is a different area of life. This is a financial house for you, Scorpio. Actually, this is your house, my friends. You are connected to this 8th house, but Uranus is not your planet. So shakeups and wake-ups when it comes to your financial situation or your partner's financial situation. So it's whoever you share a bed with, quite literally. This could be a shakeup and a wake-up call for their income stream. Their income stream is definitely going to go through some changes. I think yours is too. Same with business partnerships. You might change business partnerships. That might transition, especially with Saturn and Neptune in that 6th house. Neptune's going to dissolve a work situation that is not suited for you anymore, my friends. And Uranus is, so okay, let's describe the 8th house. Deep psychological change. This is the psyche. This is the subconscious. This is stuff that's sort of like hidden. This is the house of big life shakeups and wake-ups, big life changes. Death and rebirth is in this house as well. Taxes, debts, loans, dealing with big financial institutions. Again, it's a shared house. For those of you that are connected to, a marital, this is like marital assets, or again, a business partnership or business partnerships. This is property. This is inheritance. This is the shadow. This is deep, deep intimacy. No surface level bullshit is in the 8th house. This is a sexuality house. Fear, power, control also lies in the 8th house, my friends. So with Uranus in here, think of it as a snow globe. Uranus is going to shake up and wake up your lifestyle, your finances, how you earn a living, how you approach death, sex, taxes, how you approach your relationship to these people that you share a bank account with, or financial institution, or again, business partnership, signing on the dotted line. So Uranus could also break you free of, say, a mortgage, a debt, a loan. Also, Scorpio, I'm going to throw it out there before I turn on the camera. Uranus in the 8th house is like kinky, wild sex. I'm just going to put it out there. This is like, some of you will laugh at this and some of you will roll your eyes, but I'm going to say it anyway. This is like having sex with an alien. Okay? Because again, think about AI. Or those movies where they're like having sex with robots and aliens and stuff like that. I couldn't help myself, Scorpio. I couldn't help myself. You out of all signs, you must appreciate that. This is taking your intimacy to another level. This is getting really kinky with your partner as well. Or having an awakening experience through sexual experiences. Tantra. Am I saying that right? Hopefully I'm saying that right. Tantra sex, I'm thinking of. But also I'm thinking some of you, if you are single and looking, because again, a roller coaster ride with your relationships over the past, again, since 2018, with Uranus in your partnership sector. So now it's kind of like spicing things up between the sheets. And if you are in a committed relationship, you might find that comes up in the bedroom. So be sure you are communicating with your partner, your sexual needs and desires and what you want. Because yeah, things could definitely get kinky, my friends, and have fun with it. That's why I'm laughing, because like, have fun with it, you guys. Because yeah, Uranus is definitely going to bring you awakenings in this area of life and breaking you free of, again, something or someone. How you earn a living is definitely going to be changing as well, like your financial structures. Okay, last but not least, Jupiter up in your 10th house. Career, reputation, public image, status. So what do I mean by status is, what is your status wrapped up in? Is it career? Is it a relationship? Is it a business endeavor? Is it your kids? Is it your grandkids? Like, what is your status wrapped up in? Jupiter might change that, my friends. Jupiter is going to be making a square to you starting middle of 2026 into 2027. Jupiter squares are not bad, but they will make you take action in the career sector. or again, status. So Jupiter up here, I'm going to throw it out there, definitely a committed relationship could be coming in. So again, you could go from single to common law, single to married, or vice versa. Now, I don't want to scare you. If you're in a solid, stable relationship, my friends, don't worry about it. It just means that, again, as I mentioned with Uranus in the 8th house of the psyche, there's some things of the relationship that do need to shift and pivot and change. And Jupiter will also help you get there as well with your partnership. But if a partnership needs to go, it needs to go. And Jupiter will help you let that go and release that. Same with a business endeavor. Jupiter will help you release that as well. 10th house is also the legacy you want to leave behind. It's authority figures, bosses, mother, father, if they're still in your life, grandparents. Also you as a parent. So I feel like you're going to be Santa Claus to some people. Like you are going to be showering blessings down to other individuals in your life, my friends. But benefits, expansion, adventure, fresh new starts and beginnings in your career sector with Jupiter at the top of your sky. So really nice aspect, Scorpio. Yes, I know it's squaring you, but trust me, Jupiter squares can bring in big blessings that might make your head spin, that, you know, will probably push you outside of your comfort zone. And think global with Jupiter. Jupiter is also very public. This is a very public part of your sky. But think global connections, connecting with people at a distance, I'm thinking. New work opportunities at a distance, for example. All right, Scorpio, enjoy this transit, enjoy the year ahead, and I'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Sagittarius, let's talk about the 4 areas of life that are going to be activated for you for the year ahead. So first, let's start with Pluto in your 3rd house. He's been here for quite some time. The dates are on the right-hand side of the slide here. I'm just capturing the back and forth of these planets. Pluto is now here to stay in your 3rd house. So what is the 3rd house? It's the mind. It's how you digest information, how you chew on information. It's how you communicate. Technology also lies in the 3rd house, but also the 11th house as well. Transportation, how it is that you're getting around. Siblings, cousins, neighbors, relatives, your local community, your local vicinity, social media, the internet, and short distance traveling. So Sag, Pluto here is asking you to get authentically true to yourself in this area of life. Pluto here is also going to attract very intense transformational experiences when it comes to 3rd house matters. So again, neighbors, neighborhoods, your local community, your local place of living, your siblings, your extended family members, social media, the internet, putting yourself out there, Sag. Now, your 5th house, where we have Saturn and Neptune, 5th house actually is a really nice house. I love the 5th house and the 11th house. I would say those are one of my favorite houses, or axes, I should say. Saturn and Neptune are going to be making trine aspects to you, Sag, for many, many years. Neptune's going to be in here for 14 years. Saturn's going to be in here for 2.5 years, my friends. So the 5th house, children, grandchildren, love affairs, romance, dating, sex, creativity, self-expression, drama, joy, fertility, gambling, hobbies. The 5th house, Sag, lifts you up and lights you up from the inside out. It's the house of, what do you want to be when you grow up, Sag? What do you want to be? What do you want to build? You know, you have the great builder in this house mixed with the spiritual planet, the invisible planet, the planet that is going to dissolve anything in this area of life that's not working. And then Saturn will help you rebuild something in this area of life. Also, Neptune here is going to bring in the spiritual angle, and this is where you wear the rose-colored glasses for for the next 14 years, Sag, in this area of life. I love this for romance and dating. So, I mean, for those of you that are single and looking, there's a few relationship triggers here I'm seeing. Saturn in the 5th house can bring in a really serious partnership. Like, think put a ring on it. On top of it, for those of you that are Sag risings in particular, Saturn's going to make an aspect to your love line, my friends. So again, a serious relationship should be coming your way. But again, I don't have your personal birth chart sitting in front of me. Neptune, same message, higher octave of Venus, bringing in the romance, the magical spark, the synchronicity of meeting your next partner, even business partner for that matter. Neptune will bring in the spiritual connection here, or a past life connection here. Again, depending on your birth chart, I'm more so thinking of those of you with a love line through Gemini. Sagittarius sun, this would be your career, building your status, building your reputation, building your business, building your spiritual business, pulling out creative projects. And again, Saturn's going to help you crystallize them into form, bring them into form. So, like I said, I love this for romance and dating for you, Sag. If you're already connected to a partner, this is taking the next step with your partner. This is bringing in the magic into your relationship. This is dissolving what is no longer working in your relationship. Maybe some of you will renew your vows when Saturn makes a aspect to your love line. Again, this would be people with rising, Sag rising in particular. Okay, let's move to your 7th house, my friends. Speaking of relationships and dating. Uranus is going to be here for 7 years, Sag. 7 years you're going to have Uranus in your 7th house. So what is the 7th house? Contracts, marriage, legalizing a marriage, finalizing a marriage, formalizing a marriage, or getting married in general. Business contracts, agreements, negotiations, signing on the dotted line. It's anything to do with your one-to-one connection, Sag. So think business, think love, think marital partnerships, family relationships, friend relationships. It's Uranus in here is going to completely shake you up and wake you up in all of your relationships, my friends, all of your relationships. Now, again, if you're single, you're going to attract in a very unusual partner, someone who's very, very, very different to you. And I think, Sag, you're going to have multiple partners, multiple partners. Now, if you're saying to yourself, well, Stacey, I'm single and in a solid relationship, you got to bring the spice back, my friends. Because again, Uranus is the planet of chaos. Think of a snow globe. That's what he's going to do to your relationships, your one-to-one connections. He's also going to make you rethink your marriage, rethink your role in your marriage, rethink, again, those one-to-one connections with family, friends, and loved ones in business. And you're going to attract in some wild and wacky partners. You're going to cross paths with really interesting, unique people that are just going to draw you in and you can't put your finger on it, Sag. So again, not a bad transit. It can feel like a little bit of a roller coaster ride. But I mean, you out of all the signs, my friends, I have a feeling you're just going to welcome this with open arms. Because there's, why not? I don't know what else to say. Like, why not lean into this and enjoy the ride, my friends? Enjoy the ride. If you are single, depending on your age, like, this is not going to knock your socks off, my friends. Like, this is going to be incredible. You could also attract in a very powerful partner with Pluto in your 3rd house. Somebody very powerful in your local community, local vicinity that just rocks your world. Or a powerful business partner could be coming in. But again, Pluto, this is like an 18-year transit, so it's definitely not going to happen overnight unless you're Sagittarius rising at 0 to 5 degrees. Pluto is working on you right now. So for some of you, this might have already been happening. or has been happening, or maybe has already happened. But then again, Uranus in here is going to shake that relationship up and shake up kind of your view on relationships. What did they bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? What needs to change in the relationship? And yeah, spice things up, my friends. Get wild and wacky. I just told Scorpio this. Get wild and wacky between the sheets, my friends. I know this isn't like a sexual transit, but I mean, you do have a lot of fifth house activations here. So, I mean, the sky's the limit when it comes to creative ways to reconnect with your partner and having these wild, cool, crazy experiences together, even spiritual experiences together. Okay, Jupiter up in your 9th house. I like this, Sag. I like this for you. This is your ruler. Jupiter is your ruler. And he's in the Sagittarius type of house. The 9th house has a similar vibration to Sagittarius. So, what is the 9th house? Religion, spirituality, law, or dealing with big legal government institutions. Could also be financial institutions, higher education, teaching, training, traveling, mentoring, coaching, going back to school, re-educating yourself, brushing up on your skill set, expanding your skill set, expanding your knowledge. This is also the house of the gods, my friends, channeling, bringing something down into form, publishing, book publishing, writing, ethics, belief systems. So Jupiter might change that, or he might reinforce that. It really depends on, again, your path, your journey, and where you're at. Because again, Jupiter expands wherever he goes. Think of like new adventures, new horizons to be explored. Anything to do with foreign lands, foreign shores, foreign cultures, international matters, dealing with people from all over the globe, and pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, Sag, which I don't need to remind you to do, because again, this is your ruler, this is your planet, this is the same vibration that you bring to the table. So Sag, oh my goodness, travel is on the menu for you over the next year. Incredible experiences, incredible adventures, either locally or internationally, meeting people, all walks of life, all over the world, all over the globe, even galactic people, if you believe in that, because again, spirituality, the other side, channeling a book. Yeah, like I love this energy for you, Sag, because all of this energy meshes well with yours. And Jupiter is going to be trining you for, again, middle of 2026 until middle of 2027. So blessings coming in, opportunities coming in from that 9th house, you know, reaching a higher, wider audience, my friends. Get online, push yourself online, push yourself outside of your comfort zone. That's definitely one of your, I want to challenge you with something, Sag. And this should be pretty easy. Do one thing this year that scares the crap out of you. So is it creating a YouTube channel? Is it going on social media? Is it putting yourself out there in love or in business, or getting your business up and running, or taking your business global? So maybe you're local. Now it's time to take it global. Whatever you're called to do, Sag, I'm just asking you and encouraging you to lean into it, my friends, because you just never know. You just never know where this energy is going to take you. Anyway, enjoy the year ahead, my friends, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Capricorn, let's talk about the 4 areas of life that are going to be activated for you in 2026 and beyond, for that matter. Because again, these heavy hitters are lingering at the foundation of your sky here, your 2nd house, your 4th house, your 6th house. So a lot of wealth activations in 2026 for you, and also a lot of activations in the houses of endings. But again, you can't have an ending without a new beginning, Capricorn. So let's start with your 2nd house. where Pluto is and has been since 2023, 2024. Second house is all about money, Capricorn, your relationship to money. And I know instantly, as soon as I said that, didn't I get your attention? Every Capricorn I see, whether it's sun or rising, always worried about money, my friends. Pluto is a wealth generator. Pluto will be building your wealth, but this isn't going to happen overnight, Capricorn. Yes, you got to put in the work, because guess what? You're ruled by Saturn, that's at the foundation of your sky, making square aspects to you over the next 2.5 years. Pluto here being next door to you. So yes, he's not making direct aspects to you, but again, check your chart. What do you have in Leo, in Aquarius, in Scorpio, and Taurus? That's going to add in more layers into this storyline of how you are building and generating wealth over the next, yes, 2026 and beyond, but over the next 18 years, my friends, you're going to be generating and building this wealth up and up and up. But also keep in mind, Pluto's going to be bringing in transformational experiences when it comes to your career, when it comes to your work, when it comes to your, some of you are going to go through a physical transformation. The second house is the face and the throat. So some of you could actually be physically changing your appearance as well. Second house is also about your relationship to money, your relationship to your savings account or your pension or your RSPs, or again, how does money flow to you, Capricorn? For those of you not working, because this is a work house, how does money come to you? How do you pay the bills? How do you pay the mortgage? How do you pay the gas in your vehicle, your electricity bill, things like that? How do you earn a living? The second house is also your value system, Capricorn. So again, Pluto here is going to strip you down to your true, authentic self. If he hasn't already done that since 2008 being in your first house. So your value system might go through a little bit of an overhaul, because I feel like for some of you, there's some like loose ends that still need to be wrapped up here when it comes to your values, your material possessions, what personally belongs to you, Capricorn. Now, moving along to your fourth house, this is where you have Neptune and Saturn. So Neptune is going to be here for about 14 years, Capricorn. Yeah, 14 years. Saturn, 2.5 years. And again, Saturn is your ruler. So the fourth house, this is family, this is home, this is your place of living, the people that you actually physically live with. This is the roots, the past, your ancestry, your self-care, retirement or plans for retirement. This is the parental axis that Neptune and Saturn is activating as well, because they're not only activating the fourth house. If you have anything in Libra, Capricorn, they're going to be activating those planets as well. So your career sector is technically going to be activated as well. The work-life balance, home-life balance is going to be top of mind probably for several years. And parents, what does parenting mean to you? Are you a parent, Capricorn? You're going to go through some transformation here and some change. Or your parents will, mother, father, authority figures in your life. Or again, what does home and family and parenting, mix that all together? What does that mean to you, for you? For some of you, this is building a family, building on a solid foundation. Some of you quite literally could be building homes in the next several years. Real estate property dealings could be top of mind. Even business buildings could be top of mind, because again, those are still structures that Saturn rules. But Neptune in the fourth house is going to dissolve anything in this area, Capricorn, that is just not working for you anymore, my friends. You know, think of water flowing through your fingertips. You know, think of, people underestimate water. But think of the power water brings to the table. Think of hurricanes. Think of massive thunderstorms. And I don't mean to trigger anybody, but that's where my mind goes when I think of Neptune. He's the Lord of the seas. So that is now washing into your fourth house, cleaning and cleansing out every crook and cranny. And he is here to stay for 14 years, my friends. So get comfortable with Neptune swimming around the foundation of your sky. Again, I'm also thinking roots, ancestry, past lives, connecting with your ancestors in spiritual ways. This is also bringing spirituality into the home in some way, shape, or form. This is making your home your sanctuary. Your, like your come to Jesus moment at home. And also maybe wanting to stick around at home, working from home. Again, bringing in that work-life balance. What does that mean to you? Okay, jumping to Uranus in your 6th house, newly in your 6th house. So again, this is another work house for you, Capricorn. So again, Pluto is transforming your work career. Uranus is also bringing in that transformational aspect as well. So what is the 6th house? Day-to-day duty and responsibility. How are you being of service, Capricorn? So for those of you that don't have a regular 9-to-5 or a business or whatever the case may be, how are you leaning into being of service to your fellow peers? Or how about pulling the knowledge out of you somehow and getting it online, pulling out the knowledge base, the database that's right here, and helping other people by spreading the word or monetizing it, making money in your sleep, Capricorn. That could be a possibility as well. Think technology, AI, we're just scratching the surface on it. So incorporating that into your day-to-day for making your life easier, I hope, Capricorn. I hope for all of us, for that matter. Your health and well-being also lies in the 6th house. Pets and animals, your habits and routines are definitely going to get a shake-up and a wake-up, Capricorn. Any bad habits that you've been struggling with, Uranus here is going to break you free from that. Sorry, talking too much today. The workplace, Capricorn, my goodness, either the workplace is going to go through a big overhaul of technology, or the workplace is going to go through some wicked disruptive change over and over and over again. 7-year transit in this area of life, Capricorn. Unusual coworkers. Man, if you work in the tech sector, Capricorn, this is going to be absolutely an incredible transit for you. If you're a business owner or an employee and you work in the tech sector, oh man, buckle up. Like, this is going to be absolutely off the wall, incredible energy coming into your 6th house. New ways to stay healthy as well is coming in. And again, AI just keeps running through my mind constantly. Yeah, your duties, obligations, breaking free of something that's heavy, a heavy duty and responsibility that you do not need to do anymore. I think Uranus is going to help you break free of something or someone in this area of life. Capricorn, yeah, you could go through a lot of career changes over the next 7 years, especially if you do have anything up in your Libra house. Do check your birth chart if you know your birth chart. But yeah, I'm just looking at Pluto and Uranus in your 2 houses, like your work houses are being lit up here. So lots of transformational change that's shaking up and waking up. What do you want to do from a 9-to-5? Or maybe is it time to slip into retirement, into that 4th house, or maybe semi-retirement or working part-time? Utilizing technology to maybe do half of your job for you so you can free up more time for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, whatever the case may be, Capricorn. Okay, Jupiter in your 8th house. So again, this is a financial area of life for you. This is a wealth generator transit for you. But the 8th house is more than just money. or earned income or money coming in from other sources, other people, other business partnerships. For those of you that are married or that have a business or a business partnership, Jupiter in the 8th house is very benefic, very beneficial. Blessings, opportunities. It's going to expand your horizons in this area of life. Again, for you or a business partner, or whoever you share a bed with or share bank accounts with, Capricorn. So I like Jupiter in the 8th house. This is definitely opportunity and money coming towards you from other sources. 8th house, though, is also psychological. It's like the subconscious becoming the conscious. Jupiter here might bubble up things from the past. I'm looking at Saturn and Neptune as well in your 4th house, bringing up difficult experiences from the past. Because, and I see the South Node is also going to be in your 8th house as well. This is about releasing, purging those difficult experiences of the psyche that bubble up once and for all, and healing that. Jupiter is going to help you do that, my friends, because Jupiter also rules your 12th house of spirituality, of endings, of regeneration, of solitude, of healing on multiple levels, multiple dimensions. 8th house, rebirth, transformation, taxes, debts, loans, dealing with big financial institutions, shared finances, shared resources, shared property, inheritance, the shadow, deep intimacy, sexuality, fear, power, control, Capricorn. So keep in mind, Jupiter here is going to expand this area of life. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything is coming out of the closet, Capricorn. So like I said, this could be a financial transit for you or a psychological transit for you, or both. This is where your personal birth chart comes in. You know, is Leo your true 8th house? Or is Jupiter going to be, how is Jupiter talking to the rest of your planets, my friends? But all in all, Jupiter, again, transiting a money house is usually good news. And again, it's about lining your pockets, my friends, especially when Jupiter opposes Pluto. That's a very wealthy signature coming in, my friends. But again, it depends, okay? I'm not saying everyone is going to experience this. Everyone will experience it differently. Just double, triple check your birth charts. Okay, Capricorn, enjoy the year ahead, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Aquarius, let's break down the 4 areas of life that are going to be activated for you for 2026 and possibly beyond. Because as you know, we have Pluto in your 1st house for a very long period of time, along with Saturn and Neptune. They do not move very fast, and along with Uranus as well. So let's start with your 1st house, Aquarius. And I know you're probably so sick and tired of people saying this with Pluto in your 1st house, Pluto in your 1st house. So let's talk about what exactly the 1st house is all about. So it is your physical appearance. It is your identity. It is the body. It's your health and well-being of the body, how you're taking care of your vessel. The 1st house is major life themes, your approach to life, and everything in between. So if you've been following me for a while, I always say the 1st house is connected to all the houses. Every single area of life usually gets impacted when anything moves through the 1st house. Now, Pluto, again, pretty big, pretty transformational. A lot of people don't even experience this in their lifetime, Aquarius. So as many as people are maybe loving this transit or not liking this transit, this is very rare. It takes Pluto 250 years approximately to go around the entire zodiac. So again, I am an optimist. I always like taking this energy higher, Aquarius. It is a blessing, I think, that Pluto is in your sign and you are alive and well to talk about it. And you're going to be able to share your experiences and your stories as Pluto continues to transit this 1st house, which again, I have no doubt is going to ripple out to your career, to your home and family life, all of your relationships, and beyond. Beyond, my friend, beyond that I can even articulate. As some of you may or may not know, I'm a Capricorn rising and I'm a Capricorn moon. So I have experienced this energy in my first house. Honestly, you guys, I wouldn't change a thing what I went through and what I've experienced. And yes, I'm alive here to talk about it. You know, it's not the end of the world with Pluto moving through the first house. It's extremely powerful. It's extremely potent. It's extremely awakening. Like, anyway, that's just my opinion. Maybe some other people probably have different opinions, you guys, but again, I'm an optimist. I always take this energy higher, and I encourage you to do the same, my friends. So clearly Aquarius, you know, the planet of death and rebirth is powering through your sign for a reason, whether you're watching for your sun, moon, or rising, or maybe you have a stellium in Aquarius. Man, like, let's just say your life is not going to be bored for at least another 2 decades, my friends. But again, keep in mind your personal birth chart, okay? I don't know how Pluto is talking. Like, if you have any planets in Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, that's definitely going to change the conversation, my friends. So always, always, always double, triple check your birth chart. Another thing I want to mention, as you can probably see on my belly button slide here, the North Node is also moving into your sign this year. Now, I'm going to make a separate video about the brand new eclipse cycle that's coming into Aquarius and Leo. But the North Node is in your sign, my friends, this year. Well, beyond this year, it's just ramping up in 2026, and it's going to take us all the way until 2028. And this only comes around every 18 years, my friends. So think back 18 years ago. That's when you had a reset in this area of life, your first house. So guess what? It is going to ripple out to all areas of life. But anyway, I'll make a separate video about that, so stay tuned for that. Let's move to your third house. So this is a very social, light-hearted house, but with Saturn in here, it can kind of be a Debbie Downer, but he ain't going to be in here forever. So Saturn is in here for 2.5 years, Aquarius. Neptune is going to be here for 14 years. So what is the third house? It's the mind. It's how you digest and chew on information. It's how you communicate. It's also a house that touches on technology. It's transportation, or however it is that you get around. It's your siblings, it's cousins, it's neighbors, neighborhoods, relatives, your community, more so your local. The third house is local, ninth house is international. So this is more of a local focus for you over the next several years. It's the house of social media, or one of the houses of social media, the internet, and again, short distance trips and traveling around. So Aquarius, you are the humanitarian sign. So you do have, I feel like, a larger scope. But I feel like you can bring something global, local, or vice versa, if that makes sense. Because again, I think more so the focus is going to be on your local city, town, state. But you're also someone that can bring people together and that can lead collective efforts. Saturn is your traditional ruler. Uranus is your modern ruler. So you're ruled by 2 very different planets. The planet of the great builder, you and Capricorn are ruled by Saturn. But then Uranus is more of a newer planet. And as you probably already know, he's the planet of chaos and shakeups and wake-ups. So you are now going to bring this energy down into your third house, your local vicinity. And Neptune in here is also going to spiritualize this area of life. Personally, Aquarius, when I went through this transit, actually, I'm just kind of coming out of this transit. Neptune in my is just coming out of my third house. This has really changed how I articulate myself, how I bring in information. Like, this is messages coming in from unknown sources, because again, Neptune we can't see with the naked eye, and it brings in a flavor of spirituality, mysticism, magic. Like, you can't put your finger on it, you can't touch it, see it, but you just know it's there. It's kind of like the wind whistling through your third house for the next 14 years or so. And on top of it, Saturn and Neptune is going to be bringing in opportunities from your third house into your first house, depending on what you're watching for, sun, moon, or rising. So bringing in opportunities of the career, bringing in relationship opportunities, whether this is networking, business endeavors, love, whatever the case may be, Aquarius. Now, Uranus, speaking of Uranus, he is now moved into your fifth house of Gemini. And this is about children, grandchildren, love affairs, romance, dating, sex, creativity, self-expression, drama, creative projects, downloads, like downloading creative projects, getting those intuitive hits. This is the house of drama and joy and fertility and gambling and hobbies and bringing those to life. The fifth house is all about, it always reminds me of, elementary school, of what do you want to be when you grow up, Aquarius? This is where that electric insight comes in. And again, this is one of your rulers that have just hopped into your fifth house. Unlike since 2018, Uranus has been squaring you. Now Uranus is going to be making more harmonious, flowing, easier aspects to your planet's placements points. But Uranus is still the awakener. Again, nobody knows Uranus energy like you do, Aquarius. So everything I'm saying hopefully isn't a surprise. But I mean, I think you're probably comfortable with change or chaos or shaking things up or saying things to get or gauge a reaction or a response from people. So think of a snow globe being shooken up in your fifth house. If you're single, my friends, I don't think you will be single for much longer. But again, this is not a light switch energy. That's where the personal planets come in and sort of activate these heavy hitters. But I'm looking at Saturn brings in Saturn always brings in a solid, stable relationship coming out of your third house. So think local. Jupiter in your seventh house I'm looking at could also bring in a commitment, a committed relationship. Uranus in your fifth house, Aquarius, if you are single, oh my goodness, you're going to be attracting all walks of life, unique individuals, but also like-minded individuals. Because again, this is your planet, your ruler. So normally I would say this transit might make you uncomfortable. It might push you outside of your comfort zone. But you know what, Aquarius, I feel like you're going to be right at home with this transit and you're going to love it. All of these planetary aspects are talking to your energy either in an opportunity aspect. So it's up to you if you want to take that opportunity or not, or let it pass you by. That's okay. Or this energy is just flowing into your sign consistently until the planet goes retrograde, of course. Then that's when you kind of take a break, reassess, redo, and then once it goes direct again, it's all systems go. So if you're single, my friends, I don't think you're going to be single much longer. I can't pinpoint dates or specifics because, again, Uranus is 7 years through your fifth house of romance and dating. Saturn, 2.5 years. Neptune, 14 years. So again, I would have to see your birth chart. I'm more so talking about Aquarius risings, by the way, not so much Aquarius suns. Aquarius suns, this is all about your career, your health, well-being, vitality, and also father or father-like figures in your life. So I love Uranus in your fifth house, Aquarius. All I'm going to say is have fun with it. Have fun with it. Buckle up. Any intuitive hits, any intuitive nudges, explore them. See where they can go. Also, Uranus in the fifth house, I'll just put it out there. This is like surprise pregnancies. Surprise, surprise, surprise for the next 7 years, Aquarius. So I just want to give you a heads up. I can appreciate not everyone watching this video is, depending on your age, pregnancy is not the top of mind. This is also grandchildren, by the way. This is going to bring in electrifying news and opportunities to your children and also your grandchildren as well. This is going to actually be a very positive transit. I hope, again, I'm an optimist here, to your children and your grandchildren, or again, pregnancy. Maybe you've been trying to get pregnant for a long time. Boom, Uranus moves into your 5th house, you get pregnant. So, or you get pregnant in an unusual way, if that makes sense. Okay, let's move to Jupiter in your opposite sign, my friends. Again, a pretty typical relationship trigger if this is your rising sign. Sun sign, maybe. It could bring in a business partnership. It could bring in a contract agreement, offer, a job opportunity. You know, Jupiter expands your horizon in this area of life, my friends. So again, I would have to see your personal birth chart if you're looking for something specific. So the 7th house, contracts, marriage, legal matters, business partnerships, relationships in general. It's anything to do with your one-to-one connections, benefits, adventure opportunities coming into your partnership sector, my friends. I do love this. I do love this for you, for work, for home, for business, for love, for marriage. I love it. I love, love, love it. I can see some Aquarians getting married. Again, meeting a committed partner, a serious partner, a partner that's going to change your life, or vice versa. Maybe you're going to be changing somebody's life. Yeah, Jupiter in the 7th house. I love it. Like, I love it. He's going to help expand on opportunities when it comes to relationships. Your one-to-one connections will benefit from this. Blessings coming in from any sort of connections that you have. So it could be family, could be friends, could be work colleagues, marital partnerships, business partnerships. All walks of life, Aquarius, are going to be not only expanded, possibly changed. If you are connected to someone right now, there could be something in your relationship that needs to change, because Jupiter opposing you will challenge you to make those changes. You know, this is an opposition after all. So there is something that needs to be rebalanced here when it comes to your maybe work-life balance or something to do with your relationships. There might be a relationship that's out of balance. Jupiter here will help you rebalance that relationship, Aquarius. All right, my friends, enjoy 2026, and we will see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Pisces, let's look at the 4 areas of life that are going to be activated for you in 2026, but also beyond. Because as you probably already know, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus is going to be in these areas of life beyond 2026. But let's break this down. Let's start with your 2nd house. I'm laughing because I'm sure you are more than happy to say goodbye to Saturn. Saturn is moving out of your sign along with Neptune, hand in hand. They're holding hands, moving along. Finally, Saturn will not be back in your sign, my friends, for another 29 years. And Neptune, at this moment, I don't think you'll experience again in your lifetime, because he takes 165 years to go around the entire zodiac. But with the age of AI and Pluto and Aquarius and Uranus and Gemini and all this fire and air energy taking off this year, I am wondering if we are going to be living beyond, well beyond 100. So take that as you may, Pisces. But anyway, my friends, I'm sure you are very happy to have these 2 very different planets move out of your sign. Now, Neptune is your modern ruler, and your traditional ruler is Jupiter, which I'll get to in a second here. But anyway, Saturn and Neptune now moving into your 2nd house. What does that mean? So what is the 2nd house? It's a wealth house. It's a money house. It's a work house. Anything to do with your finances or your relationship to money, to your savings account, to your bank account. It's your income. It's how money flows to you. So if you're not working, how does money flow to you? This is also your value system, how you earn a living, your material possessions, and anything that personally belongs to you, Pisces. So Neptune dissolves. Neptune helps us let go of anything that is not working in this area of life. Wherever Neptune goes, we wear those glasses, the rose-colored glasses in this area of life. But Saturn is the great builder. So Saturn, I remember when Saturn first hopped into my second house, you might have already experienced this, Pisces, because Saturn and Neptune already moved into Aries. It's just that they're in your sign as I'm recording this, but they're going to move permanently into Aries in 2026. I have all the dates on the right-hand side here if you want to take a screenshot. But Saturn initially moving into the second house can be a reality check. He's tightening the belt. The ring is kind of squeezing your finances, Pisces. But let me tell you, when Saturn moved out of my second house, I felt more than solid and stable when it came to my work, when it came to my finances and resources and material possessions and anything that belonged to me. I'm thinking more bigger assets, not like, oh, the watch that I have in my cabinet. No, like I'm thinking property, debts, loans, your income stream, money flowing in, money flowing out. How does that work and operate, my friends? So at times this can feel heavy, not as heavy as Saturn in your first house. But with Neptune here, I'm just going to throw out a caution because I've also experienced Neptune in my second house. Money comes in. Neptune is a spiritual planet. But, think of trying to hang on to water. Well, now he's in a money house. So money can come in. Money will come in. But then it can flow out just as quick. So, look out for those get-rich-quick schemes. Definitely avoid them at all costs in the next 14 years, my friends, because I almost promise you, if this is your true second house, it's not going to be worth it. It's not going to pan out. Or if you can explore it without losing too much of a gamble, absolutely explore it. But use your intuition on what is real and what is not real when it comes to making money and how you earn a living. Because sometimes with Neptune, again, he's illusion. He's the boozy woozy planet. So sometimes he pulls the wool over our eyes on purpose to help us learn a lesson about money, finances, resources, and material possessions, and even work. This is a work house too, my friends. Okay, let's jump to Uranus, that is newly in your fourth house, or will be permanently transitioning into your fourth house for 7 years. He's going to be here for 7 years, Pisces. So what is the fourth house? Home, family, security, your roots, ancestry, your self-care, how you're taking care of yourself, property, the past, or what does the past mean to you, retirement. This is the mother-father axis, especially if you have any planets or angles in Sagittarius. Again, Uranus at some point will be opposing them, so triggering mother-father situations. You as a parent as well, Pisces, your parenting style is definitely up for some big change. So Uranus, as you may or may not know, I call him, the awakener, but also think of a snow globe. So this is what he's going to be doing in the foundation of your sky. So he could shake you and wake you up, give you those Saturn's reality checks. Uranus is more like chaos. And think of a metaphorical tornado coming through your life. That's what Uranus does on purpose, because he wants to break you free of something or someone or a family dynamic or a place of living, like Uranus in the fourth house will make you uncomfortable because it's also going to shake you up from a security standpoint. So Pisces, not a bad transit, but again, he's definitely going to help you break free of a situation. For those of you that are Pisces rising, this is also making a square to your relationship sector. So for those of you that are having challenges and difficulty with a marital partner or a relationship, Uranus will give you the confidence boost and the final straw will be pulled and you're going to be out of that relationship. Is it going to happen January 1st? Nope. Is it going to happen February 1st? Probably not. Maybe, unless you have early degree points of Pisces. So like 0 to 5 degrees. Uranus is already working, like you already know what I'm talking about type of thing. But again, it's got to be your rising sign. If it's your sun sign, it's a shake up and a wake up and a break up with your career, possibly. Again, Uranus wants to break you free. Uranus gives us the balls to do something about something or someone. Uranus is not a bad planet. He's not a malefic. He's not a benefic. He's just Uranus. He comes in, brings in the change, brings in the chaos, brings in the rebellious streak that we all have in us, and wakes us up. Yeah, and you could move multiple times with this transit. You know, usually with Uranus in the fourth house, you make multiple moves until you can finally plant your roots somewhere. It's not going to be constant though, my friends. Retrogrades will be your friend. You'll like the Uranus retrogrades, but then when he goes direct, it's kind of like buckle up. Expect the unexpected when it comes to home, family, foundation. If that doesn't resonate with you, Pisces, this is again something to do with your family, your extended family, people that you live with, shakeups in the home, in the living space, in the environment, disruptive neighbors move in. Like again, something is being shooken up in regards to your home life, family, children, whoever you're connected to. And Uranus is asking you to wake up something. If it's your rising, your sun, your moon, Uranus is working on you in this transit as well, but he's doing so kind of at a hidden, like behind closed doors, so to speak. So he might not always be in your face, and it might not be about you. It might be, like I said, chaos happening around you and you just can't get away from it. You got to just live and breathe it for now, or maybe you are supporting somebody in the family that's going through a lot. That could be another possibility as well. Okay, Jupiter in your 6th house, Pisces. And again, Jupiter is your ruler. So 6th house is all about your day-to-day duty, responsibility, your health and well-being, how you're taking care of your body, fitness, diet, allergies. Allergies also lie in the 2nd house, my friends. I forgot to mention that. Like dietary restrictions with Saturn. Again, tightening up the belt. Pets, animals lie in the 6th house. Habits, routines, the workplace, your coworkers, your working environment for those of you that work with other people or actually go into an office or go into a space, a workspace. Anything to do with what does duty and responsibility mean to you, Pisces, and also how are you being of service? So for those of you that aren't working, again, I encourage you to lean into a bigger purpose. Jupiter is going to ask of you something, possibly on a global humanitarian effort sort of scale. Rubbing shoulders with like-minded individuals, sharing your gifts, talents, and abilities with other people. Sorry, Saturn and Neptune in your 2nd house. That's also your skills, your talents, your abilities. I forgot to mention that. So it's brushing up that skill set between Saturn and Neptune in your 2nd house of work and Jupiter also in another house of work. But this is more so, how can I be of service? So what does Jupiter do? He expands anything he touches. He brings in opportunity and adventure and blessings. Pisces, I'm going to just mention this, especially with Leo being your 6th house. Keep in mind, Jupiter can also expand on the drama in the workplace. If you are in a workplace, Jupiter here can also make your head spin off with opportunities. Again, I remember when this transit was happening with one of my clients, and oh man, it was such a blessing. Like, she had opportunities coming in left, right, and center, headhunters. Her current workspace was expanding. People were coming, people were going. It was busy. It was such a busy year for her. And it was hard for her at times to see the blessing because it was so overwhelming. That's what Jupiter brings to the table, because he doesn't know when to pump the brakes. Jupiter has no brakes. Saturn has brakes. Saturn will give you a gut check. Jupiter doesn't do that unless he goes backwards. And when he goes backwards, Pisces, you'll be sighing a bit of a relief. Unless you have Jupiter natally retrograde in your birth chart, that's a different conversation. But that's when you can start to absorb all the blessings and the synchronicity that's coming into this 6th house for you. If you're looking for the right practitioner from a healthcare standpoint, Jupiter will help you do that. I also think if you are looking for a specialized type of practitioner, some of you need to go out of country. Let me change that word need. Some of you could have the possibility of looking outside of your province or your state or your country, because Jupiter is global. Like, Jupiter is connected to the entire Earth. It's not limited to your local vicinity, if that makes sense. Now, last but not least, really quickly here, Pluto in your 12th house. Nothing new. You've had this since 2023, 2024. Pluto in the 12th house is a bit quieter. It's a quieter transit because Pluto is cleaning out the skeletons, slowly but surely working out the kinks of the shadow side of you. Pluto, this is an 18-year transit, Pisces. So, you're going to be hearing this from me over and over and over again. Some of you will feel this, some of you won't. This is where your personal birth chart comes in. That's when you feel Pluto. But in general, Pluto in the 12th house, this is preparing for a new cycle. This is endings and new beginnings, but they're not going to happen fast. Pluto is going to challenge you to work through the demons, the gremlins in the closet, the skeletons in the closet. He's going to ask you to work through that completely over the next 18 years. So you have a lot of time for this, Pisces. No need to try to do it off the hop or right away. Letting go of things, people, places, things that just no longer suit you, Pisces, including religion, belief systems, your value systems. Again, Neptune's going to help you dissolve your value systems or spirituality that just, again, is not helping you anymore. It's not in your highest good. And Pluto's going to help from a psychological standpoint. Where is your time, your effort, your energy, your love being spent, Pisces? This is a lot of introspection coming up. Pluto in the 12th house is huge for awakenings, like multiple awakenings. Sometimes I talk to people and they're like, well, I'm already woken up. Like, I went through a transformation, 20 years ago. No, Pluto in the 12th house of the psyche is going to continue to transform you over and over. He's going to turn you inside out constantly. It's not going to be painful, Pisces. At times it can be, but it's, again, more psychological, things bubbling up to the surface. And you're like, where the hell did that come from? Spiritual growth. Again, leaning into your spirituality or belief systems to help you get through this transit. Channeling Pluto in unique ways, creative outlets. If you're an artist or a singer or a dancer or anything taboo, I would encourage you to let Pluto flow through you into your work. Pluto is a great healer. 12th house is about healing. So you got the healer in the house of healing on multiple dimensions, spiritually, psychologically, mentally, physically. Over and over and over again. 12th house is also your hidden gifts, talents, and abilities, my friends. Yeah. Alrighty, Pisces, enjoy 2026, and we will see you back here in the next video. Bye for now.